Okutikkula abantu ettaffaali. Katikkiro Mayiga yugumizza Kampala. Emirimu gisanyaladde. Mukome weeka. Sipiika Kadaga ayisa ababaka abagobwa mu NRM okudda mu Parliament.
Abaliyo bonna Mbabazi yandibakulembedde ne bagamba nti NRM kati weetuuse tulina okwetaaga ebinaakyuka.
Besigye awadde Mbabazi amagezi tosobola kulwanira munda n'owangula. Vayo. Mbaniriza nnyo muli ku NTV akawungezi. Nze Farida Nakazibwe. Tutandise ne kkooti esembayo olwaleero ekkiriza ababaka abagobwa mu kibiina ki NRM okugira nga basigala mu Parliament okutuusa nga okugirira kwe baakola ku ky'okubagoba kumaze okutunulwamu. Bano okwemulugunya kuno bakola mu kkooti y'emu ey'oku Ntiko. Oluvannyuma lw'ensala ya leero ababaka Theodore Ssekikubo ne Muhammad Nsereko nga begattiddwako Muhammad Muwanga Kivumbi bayisizza ebivvulu mu kibuga ebiggweredde ewa Kisekka. Tiyagaasanyose nga poliisi egezaako okubaziyiza era oluvannyuma abasatu bano bakwatiddwa.
Okusalawo kwa kkooti esembayo nti ababaka bano bagire nga basigala mu Parliament bakwaniriza n'ebbugumu era amangu ago ne bayisa ekivvulu ekibatuusiza ewandegiya Gaddafi Road oyo ne boolekera ewa Kisekka. Bano obwedde batambula bawubira ku bawagizi baabwe nga nabo babaanukuza enduulu. Ewa Kisekka poliisi basanze yabalinze edda era ne balabula obuteetandala kutabangula mirembe mu kitundu kino. Wano wabaddewo okwogeraganya ebisongo era tear gas atandika. Abantu balabiddwako nga bunemiwabo era nga tear gas abasonsomula so nga bamu balabiddwako nga basiba amaduuka gaabwe ku lubaluba. Abamu ku basuubuzi bano banenyeza poliisi nga bagamba nti bakkaanye nti tear gas akomeye.
Mazima ddala abantu bali mirimu gyabwe bakola ne mubakuba tear gas. Twakkaanya tewaliwo ffe tear gas.
I cannot allow stoning policemen. We cannot allow stoning.
Oluvannyuma ababaka bano mbadde Ssekikubo Nsereko ne Muwanga Kivumbi balagiddwa okuvuga mmotoka zaabwe nga boolekera poliisi odi Kampala. Bano bazivugidde wakati mu bukuumi obw'amaanyi okuva eri poliisi. Olutuuse eno ne baggalirwa. Yamyuka alasisi wa Kampala Alan Kajig agumbudde bannabyabufuzi abalowooza nti bakutabangula emirembe mu bifo abantu mwe bakolera.
But for us we are saying no, and I repeat this, no political rallies, no visits of such nature that causes interruption in the markets. The markets are for vendors, and let the vendors and other people who occupy those markets do their normal business.
Katikkiro wa Buganda Charles Peter Mayiga ngono oluvannyuma ayiseko ewa Kisekka okutikkula abantu ettaffaali asaasidde abasuubuzi olwa tear gas.
Basaasira ebizibu byemufunye naye ennuma ekulabiko.
NTV akawungezi getwakafuna okuva ku poliisi galaga nti ababaka abo bonna abasatu Ssekikubo Theodore Ssekikubo Muhammad Nsereko ne Muwanga Kivumbi enkya batwalibwa mu kkooti okwewoza bagulweko emisango omuli okuba olukuŋŋaano olutali mu mateeka ssaako okulumya abasirikale. Bwetweyongerayo oluvannyuma lwa kkooti esembayo okusalawo nti abagobwa mu kibiina ki NRM bakkiriziddwa okusigala mu Parliament. Speaker Rebecca Kadaga ategezeza ababaka mu butongole ku nsonga eno era n'ayita ababaka bakomewo. Speaker asomedde olukiiko ekiwandiiko ekisindikiddwa eri Parliament okuva mu kkooti ey'okuntiko.
I have received a letter from the representative of the foreign members Parliament when I presented the city for na appointment of Wakaba, na Muhammad Seko, na Bwana Basika Simeon. The date today 6 March 2014, yes. In which they forwarded my office a ruling in constitutional application number 4/2014. The said ruling administered by the Supreme Court for implementing the orders of the Constitutional Court until the substantive application itself execution and temporary injunction is disposed of by the court. The four members mentioned are hereby permitted to sit in Parliament.
Yes, Speaker Rebecca Kadaga ng'ayogerako eri olukiiko lw'eggwanga jo emirimu gisanyaladde wansi mu kibuga wakati nga Katikkiro Charles Peter Mayiga atikkula bannakampala ettaffaali. Enguudo zijjudde ne zibooga nga Katikkiro alambula ebitundu by'akatale ka St. Bali ku Ddembe, Nakivubo ne Wakiseka.
Ono ye Namungi w'omuntu ayaniriza Katikkiro wa Buganda Charles Peter Mayiga enkya ya leero mu Kampala. Asookedde mu katale ka St. Bali ku Ddembe mu Kampala akamanyiddwa ennyo nga Owino. Akalippagano k'ebidduka ko n'omujjuzo gw'abantu y'embeera ebadde mu kibuga nga bangi beekuluumulula okugenda okulaba ku Kamala byonna n'okumutwalira ettoffaali.
Tulina milioni 26 mu emitwalo 84 mu 8,412.
Awo nno twagala mubeere nga muli wamu mmwe, tewalajja tuli ako kaalo kano nga tuli bumu. Nze nkibagambye.
Mu kiseera Katikkiro Mayiga wabeeredde mu Owino ng'Ewakiseka waliyo akacyankalano, wazira ng'ekyo tekimulobedde kugenda kukuŋŋaanyayo ttaffaali. Ab'Ewakiseka batyabudde ga kisaanyi nga baaniriza Katikkiro so nga ye gwe bateeberezza okuba omubbi tebimugendedde bulungi. Waliwo n'abalala abakubiddwa ng'ekyokuttale mu kavuvuŋŋano akeetabise mu ssanyu.
N'olwekyo munyweza amateeka, temukkiriza bambula bakazi.
Katikkiro oluvudde Ewakiseka n'adda mu kisaawe Nakivubo. Abasuubuzi gye bamwaniriza n'obukadde 13 bwe babadde bakuŋŋaanyizza nga Katikkiro tannatuuka.
Kwanziridde milioni 13. Bade njagala bannange tutambukire wano tulete ezisinga zino we tunaamalira tubeere ne half billion.
Ernest Wisdom Kiyonga, NTV Akawungeezi.
NTV Akawungeezi ko akakiiko k'ebyokulonda kalangiridde nti okulonda Lord Mayor omuggya kwa kubaawo nga 17 Ogwokuna omwaka guno. Akakiiko kagamba nti kaafuna okumanyisibwa okuva mu KCCA ne Parliament ng'ebitongole byombi bitegeeza nti ekifo kino kyereere. okuva mu kitongole ki KCCA nga bategeeza mbu ekifo kino kyereere. Ku lunaku lwe lumu akakiiko kabadde kategese okulonda ababaka ba Parliament okujjuza ebifo byabo abaagobwa mu NRM, wabula nga kino ensala ya kkooti ekoleddwa olwaleero ekikyusiza.
Twafuna ebbaluwa etuwandiikibwa okuva mu KCCA okutegeeza nti ekifo kya Lord Mayor kyafuuka kyereere. Yaggyibwa mba kiyitibwa impeachment, kuggyibwa mu ofiisi olw'ensonga emu oba endala, n'ebifo ebirala ebya gavumenti ez'ebitundu mu constituency zonna. Akalulu ako katandise okutambula era nga okusunsula abaagala okwesimbawo kijja kubaawo nga 31 March n'olusooka omwezi ogwokuna.
Engineer Dr. Badru Kigondo yakulira akakiiko k'ebyokulonda. Eyali akulira ekibiina ki FDC Kano Dr. Kizza Besigye awadde Ssaabaminisita John Patrick Amama Mbabazi amagezi atunde omwoyo ng'enkoko emire ensanafu afulume NRM agirwanyise ng'ali bweru. Ono agamba nti talina buwanguzi bw'asobola kutuukako ng'akyali mu kibiina. Bo ababaka aba NRM bagamba nti kyabadde kisaana Mbabazi okuggyibwako obuyinza obumu okusobozesa emirimu gy'ekibiina okutambula obulungi.
Ku lunaku lwokubiri akabondo k'ababaka ba NRM kalonda Minisita Richard Todong okubeera ng'agira akola nga ssaabawandiisi w'ekibiina kya NRM, era kyasaliddwawo nti Ssaabaminisita Amama Mbabazi mukyala we Jacqueline Mbabazi ne yali Minisita Hope Mwesigye ngo nabalinako Oluganda batwalibwe mu kakiiko k'ekibiina k'ebyempisa. Bano kigambibwa tebabadde baliko engeri gye bagootaanyamu emirimu gy'ekibiina. Olwaleero Dr. Besigye avuddeyo n'awa Mbabazi amagezi awatali kumusaba wadde omunwe gw'ennusu nti asaana ave mu kibiina kino.
Era kye nandimusabye kwe kuba nti asituka n'ayimirira ku magulu g'abiri n'agamba nti enkola eno nkyamu era najja ne tukwatira wamu ffenna ne tugikyusa. Ye bw'abanga tasobola okukikola, bali ababadde bamuyinamu essuubi bo bagende mu maaso.
Besigye agamba nti Mbabazi tewali kyamaanyi kyajja kufuna nga Pulezidenti Museveni akyali mu bukulembeze era nga n'olwekyo alina kulwana ng'ava bweru.
Tosobola kwewala okufuna ebizibu n'olowooza nti ojja kuggyawo kino ekizibu ekinene. So abaliyo bonna Mbabazi yandibakulembedde ne bagamba nti NRM kati weetuuse twetaaga ebinaakyuka bintu bwe biti.
Ebyo nga bikyali bityo bo ababaka ba NRM twogeddeko nabo bagamba nti kyadde kituufu Mbabazi okumuggyako obumu ku buvunaanyizibwa kubanga abadde takyabutuukiriza bulungi.
Kibiina nti bwe tuba tufuna abakulembeze abali mu bitiibwa ng'ekya Secretary General abeera omuntu ow'enkalakkalira obutasobola kukonzibya nzirukanya ya mirimu mu kibiina kyaffe.
Tagana ku pate ng'ekibiina obudde tebubadde buliwo bumala. So kifo kino twagenza okukijjula nti kino ekifo kyetaaga omuntu atalina buvunaanyizibwa bungi asobola okuwaayo obudde bwe okukola emirimu by'ekibiina.
Abantu baffe babadde bakomplaininga nnyo omuntu atambudde okuva enebbi okuva ekisoro kujja kulaba Secretary General asanga tali mu office.
Kati tusuubira nti kati pate ejja kubeera vibrant, tulabe nti ekola emirimu ya mobilization kati n'emirimu emirala.
Ye Minisita Richard Todong agamba nti ebimu ku byagenda okusookerako okukwanaganya emirimu gy'ekibiina ng'aviira ddala wansi.
That reorganizing our party registry so that we are sure that we are aware of our membership, of the membership of the party that we have, how many have voters cards, how many are without voters cards, how many have reached voting age. These are exercises that should be done now.
Nga tusemberera okuza olunaku lw'abakyala olw'ensi yonna tukyagenda mu maaso n'okuleetera abakyala abakoze emirimu egy'enjawulo naddala egyo egitwalibwa nga egy'ekisajja. Olwaleero tukuleetedde Peace Mbabazi nga ye mukyala muzimbi.
Mbabazi Peace ow'emyaka 25 nga mutuuze w'ekka mu kyalo mu Kampala yakoma mu siniya ya 2 fizi ne ziggwawo mu mwaka 2009. Ssaawa biliyoni abaava waka ogenda ku mulimu asobola okukwata obudde. Asala okutambuza ebigere oba okulinnya emmotoka okusinziira wo abafunye omulimu. ng'atuuse ku mulimu tamala biseera akyusizaawo engoye n'alanga okukakkala bye gyamuleese.
Nga zino ringi ndi kafulu nnyo mpeta ringi kati ngoyo 16 nempetako huuku n'ensiba byonna.
Agamba nti obulamu tebubadde bwangu.
Ekisooka mu buwoteri mwe nakolera nga bampa obusente butini 13 eyo mu tawuni eyo. Kati olwalinyanga takisi ebiseera twaginyanga nusu 5 ng'osigazaako 2 kati ebyendya ng'okozesa 2,000 okwejjusa nga mu nsawo otuuse ekiseera nga tolina na kasente kooterese mu nsawo. Ngamba nga mbeera awo mumenyeka. Kati nali ndi awo okunabugayo nga ntambula nensanga abakyala nga bangi bali ku sayiti. Nempulira muli nga mbeegomba. Kati wagwa neewiiki nange nenkola ki nengenda ku sayiti.
Mbabazi agamba nti omulimu guno gumuyambyeko okweyimirizaawo n'abaana be abasatu.
Sisabiriza. Neekolera neneebeesaawo. Kati nze wano saawa zino nadambu nno ninde gundi ampeeyo omutwalo. Mba sijjula kubeera ngwekolera.
Nga bwe kitera okubeerako kyala abalala, Mbabazi abasajja be yali yafumbirwako bonna baali bamugaana okukola omulimu gw'okuzimba.
Kati ono wataata ono bebi ye kale twafunamu obutakkaanya awo nga ŋŋaana okukola ebintu byange bino nga bindi obwongo nga ŋŋaana togenda kukola naye nze ne ŋŋamba nina obbikola. Ne tuteŋŋana kati nenziraawo ewaffe nga bwe munsanze awo.
Bakama ba Mbabazi bamunyumirizaamu olw'obuvumu n'okwagala omulimu gwe.
N'omukyala yajja n'ansabawo omulimu gwa still fixa ne ndowooza nti asaaga nga sinnaamutesitinga naye bwe yajja nemuwa ringizi n'atandika okusiba okusala emitayimba okweta nemupa n'ebipimo nendaba ng'akwata bulungi tetumeza. Even she knows carpentry work.
Talina byakkaayana bw'omugamba okumuwa omulimu takaayana ate ky'omugamba kukola kyakola. Kati kyekiriwo enjawulo omukyala n'omusajja.
Tewali kuwannaanya emirimu nga gino gibamu okusoomezebwa kungi eri abakyala era nga n'Embabazi tebaawukanako.
Kale emirimu gino gibaawo kaseera negituuka negisirikamuko nemutuulamukko naye era bwe giddamu negiddawo mubeera basanyufu.
Kyokka Mbabazi agamba nti abakazi basanya okulekerawo okugaya emirimu.
Kubiriza nnyo abakyala bavemu eyo embeera bafube nnyo bakole kuba ennaku zino omukyala nga tokoze tobeera mukyala ate n'ekirala tewakyali mwami tewakyali mukyala. Mwena bw'obeera olina omwami mubeera mulina okwasaganya ng'ayagala okole.
Okuwaayo kwa Mbabazi obutaloza mu kuweebwa obwesigwa n'obwesimbu by'emu ku bakyala balina okulowoozaako naddala nga tusembedde okukuza olunaku lwabwe ku nkomerero ya sabbiiti eno.
Abakyala bakola emirimu nga gino abangi bamanyi ng'egy'abasajja bakozesa ebintu 3: obunyiikivu, okukola ennyo n'okwesonyiwa ensonyi. Kimuli Ivan Kigozi, NTV Akawungeezi.
Kimuli Ivan Kigozi webale nnyo. NTV Akawungeezi tugenda maaso katumbulemu katono ddala tovaawo bino bebimu ku by'obusuubira mu kitundu ekyokubiri. Omusana pereketi ya Rakai n'erya Ntonde abalimi batandise okusaawa ebirime amazzi bagazikukira mu kiro. Muyogera naffe tuli Nansana ku nsonga za byabufuzi tovaawo.
Olugero lwa leero lukutuusibwako Movit All Day Confidence.
Gwe baayogeddeko kambe kawaase tekaggwako masanda. Omuntu bwe bamala okumwogerako obubi erinnya lye liba terikyayinza kulongookera ddala ne liddawo nga bwe lyali nga tebannamwogerako. Olugero luno lutuyigiriza obutamala googera ku bantu bintu bye tutannakakasa kubanga tuyinza obbattattanira.
Our pride is your beautiful hair.
They are all winners. With Movit No Best, you can also be a winner.
Movit All Day Confidence.
NTV, turning on your world. was going to my hall, someone came from my back and was
how tugenda okwebaka ekiro yanga mwami omanyi webakeko nange omulundi gw'ogusembayo.
I went to the nurse and asked why is it that our father is negative and for us we are positive.
Every time I find a story of assault of one person to another, I get disturbed.
Mwayombye ekiro lwaleeta suzeewo lwe bakwokezza naze poza kimu nti mujja wange yanjokezza
kino ekyafa kino kyali kyakulira muno mu lubuto.
The Irene I know just loves music and loves to sing. I've never seen her even smoke a cigarette.
The days of legal trade in slaves are history, following its abolition in the 1800s.
They tie you like this. That's when I started getting past.
Everybody has a story, but yours will only become our story when you share it.
Oli ku NTV akawongezi abalimi e Rakai basazeewo okutandika okusaawa ebirime byabwe wakati mu busungu oluvannyuma lw'okwokyebwa pereketya w'omusana. Tutuuseeko ku masamba agabamu era tusanze kasooli akalidde ku misiri nga kye bakoze nabo kwe kumusaawa. Ate eri Ntonde abatuuze amazzi batandise kukakima mu ntobazi so nga abamu bakeera mu kiro okufuna kutuzzi ku nayikondo emu yokka eri mu kibuga.
Mise binya olaba wano wonna wolabye waliwo nga wonna wakaluba ngenda okulaba sente zigira tractor nga sijja zisobola zifuna nenfuna abaana nembagamba ne basima ne tusima mpola mpola era ogenda okukakkana nga batutte emitwalo gyali giweza 30.
Bwatyo Raymond Segawa ngaweza egy'obukulu 22 nga mutuuze ku kyalo Botera ekisangibwa mu disitulikiti y'e Rakai bw'annyonnyola olugendo lwe mu bulimi. Ekyokwenyigira mu kirime kya kasooli kyali kigendereddwamu okwongera ku nsimbi ze yali alina okusobola okutandika olusoma lwe olwa yunivasite.
Nali maze senior 6 nengamba kansooke sente zino nsooke zidde mu kyalo muno nime naye surprisingly ngenda okugira nti nga kasooli akoze eki aganye.
Atubuliddeko nti ezimu ku nsimbi ze yakozesa okulima kasooli yali azeewozebwewozi oluvannyuma lwa banne okumukakasa nti kasooli mulimu ensimbi.
Nga era nkibaze nti kasooli oyo ngamba kamusooke nfuna akakadde.
Wabula nga bwe bagamba nti kyotanalira tokyesunga naye Segawa olutuukidde olwaleero ng'obulimi atandise okubwekokkola. Omusiri guno ogwa kasooli gwe yali asimbye asazeewo okugusaawa oluvannyuma lw'okwokebwa omusana okugenda mu maaso n'okwaka mu bitundu ebitali bimu mu disitulikiti y'e Rakai.
Kale ekigendererwa kyange kyali nti bwe nandirimye kasooli oyo kuba baali bampadde obusente nga baŋŋamba nzireyo nsome kati kye nakola ninga kansooke nkole ki paati emu ngiteeke mu kasooli kubanga bw'oteekamu mu kasooli akakadde kamu n'ekitundu ng'osobola okuggyamu obukadde 4 kati nga bwe nzigyamu abo nkolewo pulojekiti ey'enkoko kati ne paati omu kasooli omu asigalawo then mbeere nga nfiidinga ku nkoko zange.
Kati esubira okutandika okusoma nga bwe yali yategese lyeyongedde okusereba. Segawa si yeka eyekokola ekyeya mu disitulikiti y'e Rakai. Namukadde John Kagabane ngaweza egy'obukulu 61 naye agamba nti omusana ogwako ensangi zino abadde yaludde okugulaba.
Nagulaba mu 65 emmanyizawo wa ensuku zonna ne ziggwawo kumpi n'ebirime ebisigadde ne biggwamu amaanyi. Era guno gwenzizeemu okulaba gwe mulundi ogwokubiri ng'omusana gwaka.
Emmwanyi ze yasimbye mu kiseera kino zitandise okukala olw'omusana oguyitiridde.
Ekikwewuunyisa oyinza okulaba emmwanyi zino nti zengedde naye nga timuli ku mulamwa na gumu zonna zaawowa.
disitulikiti y'Eryantonde nayo abayo ge bakaba ge bakomba anti yo amazzi gafuuse otuzzi. Abamu ku batuuze kati amazzi bagajja mu ntobazi oluvannyuma lw'enzizi okukalira.
galinamu obudde naye nga tulina kyakukola.
Nayikondo eno mu kiseera kino yeegabirira abantu mu kibuga ky'Eryantonde kyonna era ng'abantu kumpi basula wano okusobola okufuna amazzi.
Kati ekidomola ku ssaawa eno tubadde tukitunda sinyisi 3 naye kati tukitunda sinyisi 5 ne ssente ezeeyongeramu olw'ensonga olw'ebbula ly'amazzi.
Tutandika okutima amazzi wano ebiba biseera bya musana tutandika essaawa 6 gw'ekiro ne tuzibya obudde ne tukeesa obudde era ne buddamu ne buziba.
Olw'embeera eno abatuuze wano we basinzire ne byalaajanira gavumenti okubaako kyekola okwewala abantu okulwalako okutondoka enjala. Julius Senkandwa, NTV.
Akadde kayogera naffe tubebazinza nnyo kuba nti mukyali naffe. Olwaleero tuli Nansana ne Patrick Mukasa agenda kwogera n'abaayo ku nsonga z'ebyobufuzi naddala enjawukana mu kibiina ki NRM. Patrick?
Niyanziza nnyo Farida nga bwe nakutegeeza nti olwaleero tuli wano Nansana ku Yesu Amala kyenzudde abantu baayo ndowooza bawomerwa nnyo ennaanansi kubanga zijjudde ku switi wonna naye nga tubivuddeko ebyo nga tugenze ku omulamu ogwaleero gwe guli mu kibiina kya NRM genkayana zabikwa kubanga zisusse. Nyina gwe mpulidde ng'agamba nti ssekikubo okitwala ente mbo kye kitwala n'omulaalo naye tetujja kgenda yeeyo. Kati twagala abantu b'Nansana batubuulire kiki balowooza ku nkayana ezirabikanga zisitudde enkundi mu kibiina ate ekiri mu bufuzi ekya NRM. Abantu nyina bangi wano era nga beetegefu okubanga bagenda maaso n'otuwa ebirowoozo byabwe. Ntandisa ne chairman ssentebe w'ekitundu kino ssebo ku mulamwa guno ensonga yeriki?
Nyaniriza nnyo kyogereko program ku NTV nga nzira ku mulamwa oguli mu ddiiro okweyuzayuza mu kibiina kyaffe ekya NRM ate nga nange ndi mu kibiina ekyo ekya NRM. Nze nsaba busabi Katonda nti abakulu baleme kweyuzayuza fenga abali wansi batuwa ekifaananyi kibi nnyo. Fenga abali mu kibiina abali wansi batuwa ekifaananyi kibi nnyo okulaba ng'ate abakulu abandi badde batukumakuma wansi eno gye tuyulise ate nabo batandise okweyuzayuza. So nze mbadde nsaba abakulu abo abanenenganiro oba abaagala ebyo obukulembeze beekube mu kifuba bateese naffe abali wansi tujja kubanga tubagoberera mu bwenkanyi.
Oye ssentebe agaye beekube mu kifuba bateese ssebo ono ate kansala w'e Nansana ensonga ogyogerako ki?
Ensonga eyo ngaffe abakulembeze tetukoze bulungi n'akatono olw'ensonga ebintu byatandika ng'ebyokusaaga naye ne bifuukira ddala amazima nti twatandika ne bamemba ba Parliament abaagobwa abali essaawa zino bali mu kooti ejulirwamu okulaba nti ate ensonga zaabwe zigenda mu maaso naye ate nga omuntu bw'ayogera amazima oba bw'ayogera ku kintu mu kibiina tekitegeeza nti aba akoze ensobi nga bamemba ba Parliament bwe baayisibwa. Bw'otuuka ku nsonga ya mukulembe ya Prime Minister Mama Mbabazi
tugende ku mulamwa gw'emivuyo gy'olaba mu kibiina kya NRM ogyogerako ki?
Tegitwala kibiina n'akatono n'akettondo mu maaso olw'ensonga nti tusuubira obukulembeze ne democracy byatandikidde waggulu mu kibiina ate bira kandi bibuzeewo.
Kanfuneko n'omukyalo ono nyambo twagala tubuulire ku mivuyo egiri mu kibiina ekya NRM gw'ogyogerako ki ekibiina kidda ludda wa?
Ekibiina kya NRM kidda mabega tekikulaakulanya bantu kuba bayinza batya okuyingirira eddembe ly'abantu abalonda ababaka ba Parliament ne babagamba nti nno bavunula ekibiina kyabwe ne babagoba bagende mu Parliament. Ekibiina kya NRM kinnanfuusi
togenda wala ojja kungobya ku mulimu. Ate wano nyinawo meya wa Nansana Town Council omukulu Musoke wa Kayima ssebo ensonga yeriki?
Ensonga y'ekibiina kya emivuyo giri mu NRM tegigenda kukoma bukomi ku ttankula kibiina kya NRM ne gigenda okwonoonera ddala demokulasi ow'ekimmemmette gwe gutulwanirira. Olwaleero njagala okutegeeza abantu bannayuganda bonna abatulaba ku NTV nti emivuyo gino President yandibadde aleka abaagala obukulembeze mu kibiina kye n'abawa omwaganya nabo beesimbewo. Oyo ye democracy gwe tulwanirira. Ddembe lya Mbabazi okugamba nti njagala okwesimbawo kya bugwegwenyufu nnyo okulaba ng'omuntu avaayo n'ekirowoozo kye nti njagala kwesimbawo ku bwa president ate ne bamulwanyisa ekyo kiragira ddala embeera gye tubaddemu okuva edda nga mu opposition gye twavaamu ng'opposition batunyigiriza ngaffe era mu nsonga eno wentegeereza nti NRM yandibadde yeekuba mu kifuba president yeekube mu kifuba akkirize buli ayagala omwesimbako yemwesimbeko eyo
njagala tuyite mufunze kubanga abantu tuli bangi sebo ensonga yogweri ki
ensonga yange ekiyitibwa emivuyo mu kibiina ky'NRM nze nkuyita kusoomoozebwa ekibiina ky'NRM kakiri mu kiseera eky'okusoomoozebwa era nga ge makubo agagenda okuddamu okukizimba kubanga buli kintu kyonna nga kigenda maaso kinaakulaakulana kiteekwa okusanga okusoomoozebwa okusoomoozebwa NRM kwesanze ate nga nkakasa kwe kugenda okugizimba okutuuka okulembera Uganda mu bwesimbu n'obwenkanya nga bwe kyetaagisa
ono bwatu bwagamba nti kasita emivuyo gijja omumanya nti gireese kukulaakulana ensonga yeri ki
amannya agange nze Serwiri Patrick nze siyinza kukkiriza nze omusajja wa NRM Amama Mbabazi okwesimba ku President Museveni Amama Mbabazi abadde n'ensobi nnyingi nnyo kwetema ngalo sawa zino yatunze ekkolero
emivuyo sebe giri mu NRM omusajja tomusima
NRM kyebuzibu nga Amama Mbabazi bwakoze agobese kikubo njagala ayigire ku kino naye bamugobye akobye road mayor nga ayogera nga prime minister nga wamaanyi
naye omusajja nawanda omuliro njagala munzikirize ye muleke musajja wanda omuliro tutunulira emivuyo giri mu kibiina kya NRM njagala tutambulira awo teme kuva ku mulamwa emivuyo gino ojogerako ki gitwaludda be kibino
nze Abednego ensonga eno gyenjogerako eneringa film it is complete and also NRM is down njogera nti kakasa eno film fena twasooka omu fena tuvayo tuddawa basa kikuba mubalaba bazze eno mabega nona aliko eno firimu sitatulaba agenda kufa kibanda wambe
omusajja ono kale ono bwatu njagala nzeeko omukulu ono ngenda kujjayo sebo mbadde nsaba gwa amaze oveewo otulamu omukulu ono yesebe ensonga yeri ki
nze Vincent Matovu omusajja omutaka wa wano Nansana ebintu bya Mbabazi ne Museveni alimba akkiriza okuvuganyizibwa mu kibiina ekibiina kyali mu kuvuganya bwanaafuba kutuuka ddi aleko Mbabazi ajja oba Bukenya ajja naye Museveni bwanaagamba obwami nti yetavuganyizibwa eggwanga agenda oddizayo gye yalijja
oyamaliza njagala nfune wana abantu ensonga emu yokka tugende
amanya n'eddoboozi Sebakijja Daniel President Museveni bw'alaba omuntu alabye kalayiti ng'oyamutemayo
ensonga yosebe eri kigwe
tusuubira Godfrey Nansana ekibiina kivundu
nkoma kwono omukulu ono yeka nkoma kwono sebe ensonga yeri ki
amanya n'eddoboozi Kamayinja Daniel okuva Nakawa
njagala abantu bangi banange njagala munsonyiwe abantu badde bakyalina emiramwa gyabwe abantu babadde bangi naye mbadde nsaba tukome wano nze Patrick Mukasa tuli Nansana buli lunaku olwokuna tubeera gy'oli era tekitugaana olunaku olwokuna okubanga tuli mu kitundu kyo Farida kakomewo gy'oli
Lubale nnyo Patrick Mukasa abantu boogedde wadde akaseera kabadde tekamala eyo yeyogera naffe kati ate katulaba akatale k'ensimbi nga bwe kayimiridde mu bibande by'enjawulo okwetooloola Kampala. Akatale k'ensimbi kakutuusibwako
Insurance Company of East Africa, ICEA, standing by you. Medical insurance. When your health takes an unexpected turn, our medical insurance policy will cover your medical expenses. Let's worry about the bills. Insurance Company of East Africa, ICEA, standing by you.
Kati ate katumbule mu katono ddala tusiwe ekitundu eky'ebyemizannyo mu budakiika butono nnyo.
NTV, turning on your world. Program Guide.
change of government? Won't stop a thing. I've run out of fingers counting the number of multinationals setting up here. What about the 3 companies that announced their plans to launch last week? I say they're shortly. Me, I'd be looking to sell. At what price? More. Much, much more. I don't know who you are or how you know these things, but one thing I'm sure of, you're in the wrong job. Here, call me tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd like to hear more from you.
Are you ready for your big break? The East African, understanding the region.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
Remind yourself every day that you have qualities and talents that can bring goodness to others every day. You're here on this earth for a purpose. Maybe you have been looking for it. Maybe today is the day it will start. Dress down today, like my friend says, looking dapper in the African wear. This is Morning at NTV. Coming to you live from the Kampala Serena Hotel. My name is Brian Kasiate and Joel standing by, and of course Dakaba Chigongo and the beautiful Mabel on this beautiful 7th of March 2014. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with our question of the day. The first 5 respondents of this question will each walk away with a mag from Morning at NTV. So get texting, get tweeting, and get Facebooking. And my friend, you could start your weekend in a very, very perfect mood. Now, you can also continue to follow us on Twitter at Morning at NTV. And of course, feel free to go to our Facebook page, Morning at NTV2, and send the SMS to 6565. My handle is at MBGold2. We have at Mebkeb, at Joel Senyonyi, at Kasiate, and at Dakaba Chigongo. Now, standing by at our International Conference Center studios is Mabel with the stories that are making the headlines this Friday morning. Good morning, Mabel.
Good morning, Brian. Thank you for joining us today morning, Friday the 7th. Whether you're on air, online, welcome to Morning at NTV. It's a Friday and we are glad you have joined us today. Let's now take a look at the news making the headlines. Yesterday, tear gas rocked parts of Kampala city. The Electoral Commission rolled out a program to fill the position of the KCCA Lord Mayor. And Dr. Kiza Besije has asked Prime Minister Mbabazi to resign and join him.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
Tear gas rocked parts of the city after the Supreme Court temporarily blocked Speaker Rebecca Kadaga from evicting the 4 expelled NRM MPs from Parliament. This just a few hours after the Electoral Commission set April 17th as the date for by-elections in their constituencies. 2 of the expelled NRM MPs now have a moment's reprieve from the Constitutional Court order that also asked the Electoral Commission to conduct fresh by-elections and the Speaker to stop with immediate effect the payment of their emoluments. Today, MPs Theodore Sechikubo and Kampala Central's Muhammad Nsereko, as well as Butambala's Mwanga Chivumbi, will face charges of unlawful assembly to disobeying lawful orders.
Seka Market, considered a highly politicized area that has had its own fair share of protests, was the embattled MP's preferred point of celebrations after the Supreme Court halted the Constitutional Court order stripping them of their parliamentary seats. The led a procession to Chiseka Market as police trailed them, but within a few minutes, the number of onlookers grew larger and the police readied themselves with tear gas canisters. In a split second, police fired tear gas to disperse the crowds. The entire Chiseka Market area was choking on tear gas, sparing no one.
We agreed no more stoning, no more tear gas. I block them here. We are just waiting for critique. We are only waiting for critique. We didn't know what is taking place. Really, this is unfair. But we never hear about it. I'm running with the job.
Before the argument ended, police fired more tear gas to disperse the approaching group of youths on Chagwe Road. The MPs were ordered to drive to Old Kampala police station. They will on Friday face charges of holding unlawful assembly, assaulting police officers, and disobeying lawful orders.
If they want to have celebrations, let them go to Kololo. Kololo is open and they can go and celebrate there. But they should also write to the IGP who will authorize them to do that.
Earlier, Remiaga County MP Theodore Sechikubo and Kampala Central MP Muhammad Nsereko were at the Supreme Court to hear the ruling delivered by Justice George Wilson Sekoko that quashed the orders of the Constitutional Court. The Supreme Court ruled that the expelled NRM MPs have a right to appeal and had met all the necessary grounds for the appeal to be considered. The relieved MPs and their supporters erupted into celebrations inside court. The Supreme Court's pronouncement also brings to a halt plans by the Electoral Commission to conduct by-elections in Kampala Central, Remiaga County, Ndorwa East, and Buyaga West in April.
To all our countrymen, there is nothing much we can tell you. The struggle continues, and we shall not back off from struggling for your rights for as long as we are alive.
Are you going to Parliament?
It isn't only the four of us who have been on trial, but it is the constitution of this country which has been on trial. It is the people of this country who have been on trial. It is the institutions of this country. So this is not our personal win, but it is a win for all Ugandans.
On Tuesday, lawyers representing NRM, Chibuka County MP Saleh Kamba, and others argued that the MP's interim order had been overtaken by events. They further argued that the embattled legislators had failed to prove to court that Parliament was their only source of income.
Because surely if that is the only source of income they have, then it means that they are a danger to society. They are a danger to society. It means they are amenable to many temptations.
The NRM rebel MPs say they have been vindicated, but as to whether the other organs of the state, like the Electoral Commission, will respect the orders from the Supreme Court remains another matter. The main application is supposed to be heard on the 28th of this month.
I have received a letter.
At Parliament, the Supreme Court ruling was greeted enthusiastically by the opposition and reservedly by the NRM MPs as the Speaker Rebecca Kadaga read it out. Sudil Biarhanga, NTV.
Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission yesterday rolled out a program to fill the position of the Kampala City Authority Lord Mayor. The schedule has been drawn against the backdrop of a High Court order that reinstated Arias Lukwago as the Kampala Lord Mayor until his petition challenging the KCCA tribunal has been disposed of. The Electoral Commission, however, says all the requirements for a by-election for the mayoral position were met.
We got a letter from the clerk to KCCA on 26 November last year, informing the Commission that there was a vacuum, there was a vacancy in the office of the Lord Mayor. The nomination of candidates shall be conducted on Monday, 31st March and Tuesday 1st April, candidates' campaign meetings shall be held for a period of 11 days. That is from 3rd to 15th April, and will remain in force up to the polling day. That is Thursday, 17th April. Certainly, if something else develops, we will not spend the money in respect of a particular, so the taxpayer will not lose that money.
Former FDC President Dr. Kizza Besigye has asked beleaguered Prime Minister Amama Mbabazi to resign and join the struggle against President Museveni's political dynasty. Besigye made the remarks during a news conference held at the National Theatre. This comes at the time the NRM Parliamentary Caucus sanctioned a decision to trim Mbabazi's powers as Secretary General, whereas Mbabazi will act as a ceremonial Secretary General. Richard Todwong, who has been given the docket of mobilization, promised to engage the grassroots.
The doyen of opposition politics, Dr. Kizza Besigye, has asked troubled Premier Amama Mbabazi to join opposition ranks and oust President Yoweri Museveni from power. The comments come at the time Mbabazi has been part of the inner sanctum of the ruling party, kept perhaps his most troubled week. Mbabazi, who is to face the ruling party's disciplinary committee, will only be a lame duck Secretary General after the role of mobilization in his office was handed to Minister without portfolio Richard Todwong. Some of Mbabazi's aides and supporters have been arrested as the brutal purge continues.
But Mbabazi would be safer if he came out and say, no, I aspire to become the leader of this party. I am going to contest the leadership of the movement, and I will contest to be a president.
Against the backdrop of this poisoned political atmosphere within the NRM stable, Besigye argued that it was better for Mbabazi to fight from the outside.
Within would mean that there is some space where you can, move your elbows. There is no space. It is one man controlling everything. So the only way you will fight that one man is to be outside him.
As Mbabazi continues to swim against a tidal wave, a number of NRM lawmakers said the decision to appoint Todwong to run the mobilization docket was long overdue.
We've had issues as a party, especially on the executive part. Our Secretary General has been not being offering himself full time for the to do party work partly.
There was people who were crying at Chadondo. They go there with problems. There's nobody to attend to them. We are supposed to be having 7 directors, but they are not there because of 1 or 2 problems. There is only 1 director and secretary and some other officers who were not able to attend to our people.
Hope is that the secretariat of the party will now function much better and be able to serve the members of the party, and also carry out mobilization work.
However, a few MPs were pessimistic, saying little will change at the secretariat.
Is a lack of resources. So the most important thing to do now is to mobilize resources.
Todwong told NTV that he will embark on a campaign to strengthen the grassroots.
We also need to start reorganizing our party registry so that we are sure that we are aware of our membership, of the membership of the party that we have, how many have voters' cards.
Todwong said the Secretariat faces monumental challenge he intends to address with immediate effect. He also commented on the contentious decision to send Mbabazi, his wife Jacqueline Mbabazi, who chairs the NRM Women's League, and his sister-in-law Hope Mwesige, who is the former agriculture minister.
That SEC should summon them, listen from them, and see and determine what steps should be taken.
Well, tomorrow is International Women's Day, and we here at NTV continue to celebrate the woman. In our feature today, we feature a single mother at the age of 25 with 3 children. Peace Mbabazi is her name, and she has made her career building.
Every morning, Peace Mbabazi is said to leave her house by 8 a.m. That is, after ensuring that the children she birthed are cared for. She makes her way to the construction site, wherever it might be on a given day. There is an immediate change of clothes as soon as she arrives at the site and her day's job begins.
I'm an expert in this job, especially in folding these rings.
And from this job that many women shun, Mbabazi has been able to look after her 3 children and to pay their tuition.
I'm not a beggar. I work for my money.
It might look like just another woman at work, but it hasn't been easy for her.
These jobs are seasonal, but when they're available, it makes me happy.
However, her bosses are proud of her efforts. They say she works hard and persists at a job that many of her female peers have tried and given up on.
She came here for the job. I thought she was joking, but I was very surprised in the way she does her work.
Even she knows carpentry work.
And as Women's Day comes closer, Mbabazi has this to say, that women need to work harder, be more accommodating and agreeable. By casting themselves in that role over and over, they will begin to believe that that is what others expect of them, and often that is.
A very styled up lady, I will add. We now return to the Kampala Serena Hotel rooftop to Simon, Brian and Joel for today's press review.
The 7th day of March 2014, coming to you from the rooftop of the Kampala Serena Hotel. A slightly overcast Friday morning here in Kampala. Good morning and welcome to NTV's press review at morning at NTV. My name is Simon Kasiate, together with my dear friends who are dressed down in African garb. Good morning, folks.
Good morning. There's a Chiganda saying that kumbaga tekubula ko musiwufu.
Yes.
I am not in any way referring to Simon Kasiate. I am just saying.
No, but he has an African bow tie this morning.
African bow tie. Okay.
Yeah,
and the shirt is not very bad either.
Yeah. It is getting increasingly comic on the side of Joel, but that is how Fridays are. But though, we have got to look at what's in the papers this morning. I'll start off with the red paper. Of course, you don't start a good weekend without a look at, the red paper. And this time around, very serious on the front page with regard to the political goings-on in the NRM. They have a screaming headline there. Mbabazi is naked. To what extent has been stripped? Well, there you are, that he's been spied on. From his car, to his house, to his bedroom, to his office. Everywhere, Big Brother has been watching and listening. What have they been watching and what have they been listening? All his schemes and machinations to ensure that he becomes president in the not so far future, that's 2016. The story is playing out in the red paper this morning with interesting insights into what other recordings could have been picked up by the security apparatus. What do we have in the daily?
You know, that's actually not very surprising. Politicians are very paranoid. Even though you see most of them working together, they appear as if they are friends. They fear each other. They're thinking, this guy here might do what Bagana call busu on me. So I'm not surprised that they've been spying on him, waiting to see how all this pans out. It is a movie, like somebody did call it, playing out slowly but surely.
But tell me, aren't we overrating Uganda's intelligence and security apparatus? Do they have the mechanism to, for example, put codes into,
why not?
Into the hydraulic oil of Mbabazi's Mercedes-Benz? Do they have the ability to put a recording chip on the water heater of his house, or his houses for that matter? Are they able to place a chip, under his tongue and see exactly or hear what exactly he's saying?
If you're spying on somebody who is scheming to take over your seat, especially if it's presidency, if it is LC chairmanship or MP, maybe it wouldn't be a big deal. But I don't think it's impossible.
High security premises and find the way these people are searching. And do you have a fire? Are you armed? You show them your arm. Yes. Then they look around. They open the bonnet of your car.
But who are they?
To be, in position to get down to this serious business of spying to this extent of meticulous.
I wouldn't underestimate them with the specificity of this is Amama Mbabazi, wants to be sure he's not scheming other things. I think they would do it. They would do whatever they can.
Well, what we have in the Daily Monitor this morning?
Another screaming headline here. Schools cut Senior 5 entrance marks, as you should know by now. Our performance this time round for Senior 4 UCE, that is, was a little bit dismal compared to last year's. So schools realize we have got to bring it a little bit down so that the intake can be higher than it would have been.
Something that's not related to S5. Yesterday, and it was making rounds on social media, about a girl at Trinity College Nabingo that committed suicide because she was advised to repeat the class.
Committed suicide?
And you see,
yes, that one would have committed suicide even if she found her favorite meal finished from the dining hall.
Oh, come on, Simon.
I mean, if you commit suicide over...
That sounds very simplistic. You see, the way we have...
We are not condone people taking their own life.
And we are not. Certainly we are not. But let's try and understand the situation. You see, the pedestal at which we have put our education system today, if you do not score a 4, you are doomed, you are a total failure. And that's not true. I did not get a 4. I know guys that scored 4, but today I look at them and I'm thinking, what happened to this guy, you know? But you see, we have overemphasized the fact that you have got to score extremely high, and that's what makes you. And that is why we see many young kids at 5:30 they are on the road going to school. 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, they get back home at 7 p.m. with homework this much, and we're thinking, when will this be children?
You're very right, Joel. From time immemorial, we've underscored the necessity and the importance of parents in our lives. It is clear without a parent, you are doomed and finished. So when your father wakes up dead, do you commit suicide because now the life in you has ended up? No. Maybe I'm different because me have had
but you see, you seem to insinuate that we are condoning what happened. No, we are not. We're just trying to understand the situation of the fact that you see, we have overemphasized.
We have overemphasized success, but does not mean that when you hit a
no, it does not mean at all. It does not mean at all. But you see, it raises the red flags.
Is already showing that they are internally weak and they would have committed suicide upon any form of disappointment. This is a girl you dump and she commits suicide. This one.
And who says heartbreaks are things that come any easy?
Well, things that kill, failing to make your way to the next class, but also from our parliament in Uganda, they seem to insinuate that there is one major killer in Uganda, and that is tobacco. Cigarette smoking. That's why we have a tobacco control bill that's been tabled before Parliament, which I say now, I think very soon, we'll have an anti-coffee bill, we will have an anti-KFC bill, we have got an anti-spectacles bill, we have got an anti-everything bill, because I mean, one time we are anti-ministers, now we are anti all the small things, yet...
What do you mean by small things? I'll tell you, as far as tobacco is concerned, I know you have interests and you need to declare them so that people know that you're not as objective here.
Yes, tobacco brings food on my table.
There you go. So,
but I must also understand...
Clearly, you can't be as objective.
No, but I also say I have been a consumer of this product. Fair enough. I know the repercussions. I didn't consume it.
You still consume it?
I was not. I'm now unable to afford it. I was consuming it not because I was enticed in there. I made a conscious choice to consume it. I am ready to face the repercussions of that consumption. And I believe that is just at the tail end. There are people whose education would never have been without their parents growing tobacco. So if you say they should not grow tobacco now because it kills, so those who grow Irish potatoes...
Yeah, just like their children who have gone to school because their parents are murderers and that's how they make their money. Look, I personally feel...
Joel.
Oh yes.
Murder.
It's an example. I think the two can be tethered. You know, if something is bad,
algebra, we should give examples in algebra. We cannot afford to be talking about algebra and giving examples in circles.
Nobody see the alibi that you give of, you see, it has fended for some people's tuition and so on. We know about many other things. So for me, I think that does not count. I personally feel this debate should be on, and it's good it's on. Yeah,
what doesn't kill? Chips?
Literally everything, and it's good you're seeing the point here.
We should have an anti-Irish potatoes bill. We should have an anti-beef bill because you know beef is killing people. We should have an anti-chicken bill because we know that they are.
Yeah, but between you and I, some things are a lot more grotesque.
My question though is, of course, the tobacco industry is very, I think URA registers a lot of money.
But you see, we spend just as much on treating. Oh yes. Guys, where do you stay? There's something called the internet where you can Google on and search and find out information. Your phones look like they are very well connected. For every dollar that we attain, our studies do say, whether they are authentic or not, but you see the picture, you know, for every dollar apparently that we get from the tobacco industry, we spend 3 to treat the resultant ramifications.
You're very right, Joel. Indeed, cancer has been declared an epidemic in this country. I want you to go to the Cancer Institute in Mulago and tell me for every 10 patients...
Apparently 70% of cancers are caused by tobacco-related illnesses. That is research. You see, you can't just sit here and... Yeah, that is research that we are told about. Yes, sir.
If they increase the price of say, a cigarette, would that reduce the number of people consuming it? If, say, a packet was at 20,000 shillings.
Perhaps, well, yes, maybe, but you see, there are some, yes.
If you stop drinking,
let me give you an example.
It will come down, especially the younger people.
To make the bona fide players in the tobacco industry like BAT get constrained in how much they have been able to operate, and also, let's not forget that these bona fide tobacco companies have been fending for this industry right across the chain. They provide incentive to farmers, they buy their crop on an assured basis. You grow your tobacco crop already assured.
Very low price.
No way. I can tell you, go to Arua, go to Kanungu, where Chris Barjomusi comes from. People's lives would never have been what they are if it wasn't for tobacco. It would have been terrible.
Yeah, just like we keep saying, our lives would not have been good enough for if it was not for aid. But here we are today.
One thing for sure in the world, contraband around the world thrives on tobacco. The moment you make bona fide tobacco players in this country suffer the pinch of a draconian law like this one here, you're going to increase underhand contraband sale of tobacco.
But you see, our hands cannot be tied just because we are very scared and thinking, you know.
So do you prefer to have a regulated market which you can properly tax, as opposed to...
And that's the point. This is not a tobacco banning bill, it's a tobacco control bill.
Well, I can bet my hand here, you will see a lot of illicit trade in weird brands of tobacco that do not even meet the international health standards.
Yeah, if we choose not to implement the laws.
Yeah, tobacco could be bad, yes, but bona fide companies have gone ahead to have their own safety and consumer elevation with regard to the quality of product they put on the market. Anyway,
Wawula, today we have made noise. Something, is this a light one? Women get a 3-hour jail term for wearing miniskirts. These ladies are going to court over a different issue altogether.
There we are. You can't dress miniskirts. You cannot enjoy yourself.
Oh, give us a break.
You cannot choose.
Ladies, Bajens, have some mercy on the brand Mlondos of this world.
Nowadays, you cannot even
put on some clothes.
You can't even be. You cannot have the ambition to be a news manager in this.
Or to be president of Uganda.
I'm trying to downgrade it to where our ambition is.
But the confusion, Simon, is here. They go to court over, something different, and then the magistrate finds it.
Well, people made a lot of noise. Yeah, they were thinking, wait a minute. We know we came here for other things.
Contempt of court.
And let's recall that today is 7th day of March, tomorrow is 8th day of March, where we are celebrating International Women's Day, a day that was earmarked by the world to celebrate not only femininity but also give to the women what they deserve with regard to being treated as equal citizens of the world. What in Uganda are we doing to promote the woman? One day to Women's Day, when you have women being arrested and put in jail for 3 hours for wearing what they chose to wear.
But you see, we are misconstruing this. This law is not necessarily targeting the women alone. If you dress indecently, you too should be arrested, yeah?
Now, what is the measure of indecency when it comes to a guy wearing...
Well, they explained everything,
The other week for dressing in balance.
Who undressed them?
Well, the residents.
A mob. So now when we, is a mob now going to become our yardstick for...
We are not condoning that at all. And we are saying if mobs address people, let them be arrested, those fellows.
I think the mob is going to be the committee for
There is an interesting picture of in the Daily Monitor
giving them the green light,
the so-called rebel MPs who were arrested after court ordered them back into parliament. Let's recall that parliament, the Supreme Court yesterday passed a ruling that allowed these guys who don't know that when you belong to a certain organization, you must play by those rules. And if that organization feels that you're not playing according to your ball, they have a right to expand you. And let me tell you, I have always believed that if at any one time I feel I do not fit within the settings of where I am, I leave, and I would gladly welcome an expulsion, so that I can go out there and be able to propel my ideas and possibly prove these guys wrong. I have done it before. Why didn't these guys just go vie for their constituent seats under a different dispensation and beat the NRA?
No, but you see, they are part of a party and they are saying, we want to try and clean this up, yeah? Of course, I don't think they are very disciplined fellows. Many times I've seen them go out there very boisterous and so on.
With all due respect, Honorable Sereko, this flip-flop, what's his name?
Why are you using
He says this, he does the other. I mean,
but that's precisely the point I've been making. Yeah, they may not be as disciplined, but you see, at the end of the day...
But he knows it, there is politics of deceit.
Simon, obviously these MPs want to stay in the party.
And they're saying, want to clean it up.
I think more importantly, they wanted to stay in parliament. Do you know what it means to go down to an election?
Apparently,
of money you spend.
Their lawyers were reasoning that, you see, being thrown out of parliament, they don't have any other money-making venture.
Well, the lawyers...
I thought about it and I said, am I hearing wrong?
But also the lawyers were encouraging them to continue the court process because it is only through that the lawyers will be assured of a paycheck.
But I'll tell you, NRM is being draconian, and I believe they're doing this in bad faith. Honorable Mona is here. He'll probably talk a little bit more about this. Even though they're trying to instill discipline, you want to do it in good faith. You don't want to keep hounding these fellows. And you see, the Electoral Commission rushed very quickly, probably at the big beacon of somebody, organized elections very quickly, and now they are being given a bloody nose. They're saying, hey, can you calm down, relax, let's first put things in order, and they're looking fake now.
You see, for those of us who went to schools, what their name?
What their names? But you act like you went to UPE. This guy the other was saying us went to Ontare, to where?
Those schools had rules and regulations. Some of these schools had very tight rules that for the most of us, those of us who loved our freedom, we found we spent time in jail. But the moment you are unable to play by the rules of that school, get out and find another school. There are many schools out there that can accommodate you. I want to believe that the school setting is more like a political setting. If you are unable to play by those rules, get out. And it is within the school's right to set their own benchmarks of what they want to play. I was in 2 schools indeed, like he said. Schools that behaved differently. When you are in entire school and then you go to St. Mary's College, Kisubi, you will see a total difference in how things are done. In entire school, we are living free range. When I go to St. Mary's College, Kisubi, I was caged. But there I was. I had to be in there or else I ship out. That is how it is. You cannot have...
Yeah, but you see, here we are setting some kind of platform for the politics of this country and many other precedents that we are setting. It's not just about the NRM. We want to ensure that we do not stifle debate, for goodness sake. Yeah, let somebody have the ability to say something, disagree with you, and that should be all right.
Thank you very much, Mulondo. And indeed, let's now get a bit lighter on this Friday morning and get down to the inner pages of the Daily Monitor, which has got your favorite weekend magazine, and that is Scoop. Those of you who love to party over the weekend, where there's plenty to party around, we have got Nyanda of the Brick and Less, who is in town, and an interesting insight into, the red carpet moments of the Oscars. And let's take a closer, an interesting look at Lupita Nyong'o's dress that we possibly only managed to catch the front bit of, but here in the Scoop magazine.
Somebody was saying if she had been clad in that dress here, she would probably be undressed or whatever the case might be. I see lots of features here focusing on Women's Day, celebrating the women. I hope you guys will celebrate the women in your lives. Somebody the other day I think I asked them, how do you make a woman happy? And he said, step 1, give her money. Step 2, give her money. Step 3, give her money. Apparently there are 40 steps. Then step 4 to step 4 to repeat steps 1 to 3. I hope that is not true for, that's not true for every lady, of course.
So deal on the 2014 billionaires list. And this is a story playing out in the 411 section of the Scoop magazine. An interesting picture of him there, pulling up his usual Monte Cristo cigar.
Well, the big fight this tonight, Golola against Mugula. And,
they are going to Golola.
These two motor mouths to go finally at it. Someone just said, you know what, these guys are too broke, so they came up with something to get some money.
That's a possibility. Little wonder you see them,
Later in the sports update, we'll be talking about this fight and looking at it more extensively. But yeah, Golola.
But this fight can fall any side.
Well, either way you look at it, whether you're going in for the Gora fight or you're going in for the Nyanda concert or whatever it is that you plan to have a weekend on, better get yourself a copy of the Daily Monitor and the Red Paper to start off your day with a fresh look at what's making it in the headlines and what's trending in the news. Is it in politics? Is it in the economy? Is it in the social way to be? On that note, we come to the end of our press review this morning, wishing all the women a wonderful Women's Day. Tomorrow, we will return for the same press review on Monday. But Morning at NTV continues. Don't go away.
I'm going to blow your mind and I'm going to twist your taste buds. The flavors are already coming together. I can feel them. Very lovely, very appetizing, very powerful. Remember, the way you see it, the way you like it,
is the way you get it from my kitchen to your kitchen.
Hey there, Mr. Krabs! Are you ready to party?
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it, move it.
Wow! Hello, fellow motor enthusiastics.
Mr. Krabs, isn't there any way for us to return all of them back to normal?
Hey! How'd he do that?
The Red Ranger's a bigger problem than I thought.
It's time to finish this thing up!
What can I do to make them love me again?
What are you drawing, Kitty?
Mega Rangers? Yeah! That's a mega win!
Hello?
King Julian, you are truly inspiring.
Ow!
SpongeBob!
Nice trick, fantastic.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
Follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat, follow the beat.
Follow the beat.
The average age of the entire national team is under 18. And so
the primary role of Team Uganda is to remain to Division 2.
Probably that's the only thing that can make one or two rugby fans smile, that the Cubs are doing well.
The players haven't put on they haven't wore the game faces. They're not the animals we saw last season, because Ferguson had the same group of players and he did deliver the Holy Grail, which is the title.
We are musically speaking to celebrate, discover, and inspire.
Welcome to Jazz with Isaiah. A musical venture that is entertaining, educative, informative, and inspiring. Let's join Isaiah as we celebrate, we discover, and we encourage talent. And
we're gonna have a good time. I want you to be part of that process.
Running out of airtime can happen to anyone. The next time you recharge, simply dial *161# to get going again.
On the next episode of La Patrona.
And quite frankly, I could care less about meeting her. Why do you want me to go?
It's best if you go to the party and find out for yourself, Alejandro.
You're gonna learn how to respect the ladies in this house. I don't care about your grandma, but Valentina and I love each other, so you need to deal with that. I will not deal with it. I'll break your face.
No, please stop.
Hey,
Help
what's going
me.
on here? What's going on, huh? Come on, Gaston, what did you expect? For the main mad woman and me to be locked up here all day while you and Gabriella, you're out risking your lives or having fun or doing God knows what? No, you're mistaken. I didn't get out of the asylum to have to be locked up ever again.
And you, what did you expect?
La Patrona.
At Orange, we know that running out of airtime can happen to anyone. That's why we bring you Wetase. Simply dial *161# to get going again. Convenience changes with Orange. Today changes with Orange.
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji, and Brian Molondo.
Thank you for joining us today. We now return to the Kampala Serena Hotel rooftop to Simon with today's big story.
Well, it's the 7th day of March 2014, now a sunny Friday morning at the rooftop of the Kampala Serena Hotel, and we are looking at the big story. The big story this week has been the developments within the NRM party. Now looking very specifically at the NRM caucus at Parliament and what they have been playing out with regard to their Secretary General who doubles as the Prime Minister of this country. The story of Prime Minister Amama Mbabazi continues to develop and continues to grow into very interesting nooks, corners, and of course crescendos and lows. And we at NTV's Big Story could not afford not to jump on this and milk it to the last bone. And you will realize that we are getting you the very best of guests because there are people who are part and parcel of this from the nucleus of the development of this story. This morning is no exception. On a Friday morning like this one, we've got the suave and debonair member of Parliament for Kabera Maido County, Honorable Dr. Omona Kenneth. Good morning and welcome to the Big Story this morning.
Good morning and very good morning to the viewers. It's a very good sunny morning.
Absolutely. Your other name is Olusegun, eh? Is that about Obasanjo or this is an Itesot name that means something?
It's an African name.
What does it mean?
It's an African name.
No, don't be dodgy.
We'll have it over a cup of tea next time.
Well, as you can see, young and suave, very smart, clad in denim jeans that is matched very well with a striped shirt with a lot of red in it. No yellow, I must say. And an interesting
yellow, yeah.
An interesting coat. He's saying he's seen some yellow in my tie. I bet I'll give it to him after this show. Dr. Mona, we've had the goings on in the NRM caucus where you are a member as a member of Parliament. But I'm also inform you, our viewers, that is the chairperson of the Health Committee where that or should I say, tobacco control bill has been sent.
That's right.
Amama Mbabazi, I thought you young tax in the NRM were for the most part mentored by him, catapulted by him, and of course, served by him, taught by him, and you admired him the last born. What are we seeing playing out? Have you betrayed this mentor of yours? Or should we say you are just looking above him and looking at President Museveni?
Thank you, Simon. But I must say that first I must appreciate the mentorship that some of us have received from the very senior leaders of the NRM.
And specifically?
And all the leaders. Mentorship is cut across. We receive mentorship from so many cadres of the party. But of course, let me appreciate the senior leadership of the party.
Let's narrow it down. Have you received any mentorship from Amama Mbabazi?
The Right Honorable Prime Minister and also the Secretary General of the party has been at the helm of the party. So when I say senior leadership of the party, the Right Honorable Prime Minister and the Secretary General of the party is indeed inclusive. And I must say we appreciate the mentorship from the senior leaders of the party.
But
now, back to what you're saying, there's no any question of betrayal in this case. There's nothing like betrayal in this case. And just like you said, the development that we are seeing in the party now is just about ensuring party discipline and ensuring cohesion, unity in the party to make sure that we continue having power and having an environment that gives us time to fulfill the promises that we have made to the people of Uganda.
Eloquently put, Dr. Mona. But you say ensure party discipline. What wrong has Prime Minister Amama Mbabazi, Secretary General Amama Mbabazi, done for him to receive the kind of backlash he's receiving? What indiscipline cases do you have against him?
Now,
having an ambition to be president?
Now, let me say very clearly that ambition is very important for every leader. And any leader who is not ambitious
is as good as dead.
Is foolish, is stupid, and deserves not to be in any position of leadership. But
that's even harder than I thought.
Must be directed towards achieving the group goal. Ambition should not be used to destroy the very cohesion, the very fabric that that builds a group. And I think that is where the question arises. Now, it's not just about the Secretary General of the party per se. Just like I've said, that the developments we're seeing in the party is about going towards, looking towards cohesion and unity in the party, to create stability in the party, to make sure that the party is able to fulfill the promises given to the people of this country.
Now, with this kind of push and tussle between President Museveni and Amama Mbabazi, orchestrated by some of you young thugs, are you moving towards creating cohesion, or you are in fact creating a situation of fragmentation?
Now, let me say that, importantly, any group that is not able to instill discipline among its members stands very low chance of remaining together for a long time. Now, NRM, as you may know, is a very disciplined party, and this is what has kept the NRM together right from its inception during the Bush War, the struggle for liberation, the struggle for transformation of this country. We need discipline. And as you may also know, it is because of indiscipline that has caused a disintegration of other groups that had led Uganda before. But
Kenneth, your
let me
for
say,
discipline seems to be creating a monarchy within
no, but also,
even a monarchy
Simon, let me say,
you're propagating one leader now with so many years
Simon,
at the helm of NRM.
Power without the law or power without some set of rules is anarchy. And this is not what we want to write in the NRM. Now, back to what you are saying, what is actually happening in the party is about discipline. Why? Because we have a set of rules. We have guidelines in our party. For those who have ambitions,
what rules
those
did Mbabazi break?
Those with ambitions, those with interest, there are rules guiding that. That's why, like you have been hearing about allegations of ambitious people in the party want to take over power and something like that, but these are against our rules. Our
rules of the NRM do not give the movement caucus in parliament the right to do the kind of things you are doing. That mob justice you are doing.
Like what? What do you mean
mob justice of saying now, let's expunge him from being the Secretary General? Are you mandated to kick out the Secretary General?
No, let me say this very clearly. I think this must be understood very clearly. What happened with the NRM caucus, in opinion? The NRM caucus, as one organ of the NRM, okay, has a right to its opinion, okay? So the NRM caucus has communicated an opinion, has made a statement, and the statement is that for us to ensure cohesion, for us to ensure this political dominance, which is important for any serious political party, we still need the leadership of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Now, what brought all this which is happening? There are failures, there are information, there are allegations taking place in the countryside among our leaders in the countryside about some people moving around undermining the president, coercing people, paying people to come up with certain statements. Now, this causes unrest, it causes anger among our supporters in the countryside. Now, this is not good. This does not create cohesion, and this kind of stability that we need.
For how long can we continue as young people propping old guards to continue leading us? For a man like you, medical doctor, member of parliament, who graduated 5 years ago from university, fair enough, but you are heading a constituency. For how long shall we continue following 70-year-olds as they continue?
By the way, Simon,
can't we look for an alternative to leadership? I'm just asking.
Simon, since you came into the media fraternity,
15 years now.
Yes, we saw you broadcasting in the small rooms, corridors, and now you are broadcasting from a rooftop. But you remain the same Simon, and you actually aging. Yes, exactly. You are aging. Why haven't you walked away from here? Because it is not just about that biological content of Simon. Okay, us in the NRM is not just about the age, but it's about the mission of this group called the NRM. Our mission is not just about the age.
If your president did what I did, or what me and Putin did, was we were in there, I did my 10 years, that was 2 presidential terms. Wait a minute. Then I took a back step. For 5 years I was away. I let other people develop their talent. Now I have come back to
you also know very well.
And after 5 years I think I will leave.
You also, Simon, you also know very well.
Like me and Putin have done.
There's nothing.
Putin moved away, put Medvedev, then...
every society and every good group has got its own peculiar characteristic and their mission. The mission of Russians are not the missions of Africans and not missions of Ugandans. And
so missions of Ugandans
not the mission of the NRA.
No, secondly,
no. But this is, Simon, this already is solved in the Constitution. You know very well in our Constitution there is a term limit, okay? And not term limit, I'm sorry. There is an age limit, okay? We have no term limits.
Which is in the cooking that you intend to amend, just like you amended.
But if Ugandans feel that is what is good, it is upon them. But we must appreciate that we have the rule of law, and we are very, very disciplined following the constitution of our country, and we will do exactly and just that which our country and our people want. So
let's get down
there
into
is
Mbabazi Museveni dynamics here, because people are very much interested in getting to, and until I get the two principles on this table, we will continue to speak to people like you who know them very closely, from close quarters. Tell us what their next game plan is. I have asked this before to people who are here before you. I will ask it to you again. What do you think Prime Minister Mbabazi is going to do in the face of this humiliation that you guys have put before him? You've been spying on him. Now you're subjecting him to a disciplinary committee.
Let me say this.
You are
No,
disciplining his wife.
let me say this very clearly.
Is he going to bite the bullet and say, you know what, I've cast ranks and moved on?
No, I don't think. Let me say very clearly, Simon, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who was the chairman of the party, and the SG, the Right Honorable Amama Mbabazi, two very distinct characters that I admire. And they are surely, you know, they are very unique characters. And they are leaders that who do not wish to lose from the party. But the developments we are seeing is, just like I've said, that we need cohesion in the party. And if you talk about the game plan, I don't know what you mean, but as far as we are concerned now, we still believe that President Museveni can still steer the party forward.
And Mbabazi can continue to lead you as Secretary General effectively.
You know very, very well that actually, as I speak now, the substantive Secretary General of the party is actually Right Honorable Amama Mbabazi. But because of the lot of work he has, he's a Prime Minister, he's a Secretary General, he's also a member of Parliament of a constituency. That's why now, in the wisdom of the and also in the wisdom of the leadership of the party, that let's have somebody do much of the mobilization work in as the SG of the party. But the Right Honorable Amama Mbabazi still remains the substantive Secretary General of the party.
Let's speak from a hypothetical point of view. If Amama Mbabazi now cut ranks with the NRM and join an opposition group or form this opposition group, to what extent do you think he stands as a threat to your hold on to power as NRM?
Now, these kind of conflicts have not begun today. Indeed, if you read the history of the national resistance movement in the earlier struggle, all these kind of
like
I've always
I don't need to read the history.
You know it. Okay. If you reflect back,
exactly.
Yes, if you reflect back in history, that now these kind of developments have even occurred in the bush. But what leads our party forward are the core principles and the goals. Now, talk about okay. First, listen. No, yes.
Ranks
okay,
when
I am coming.
Former Dr. President broke ranks in 2000 and declared his presidency, and then we got your president completely naked. He went out all clothes, full blast, and crushed this kind of formidable challenge against him.
No,
to what extent?
No, Ugandans, not the president, but Ugandans crushed them, because you know very well they have always subjected themselves to elections, and it's actually Ugandans that have politically crushed those forces. But let me say, it's not the first time that we have seen senior leaders moving out of the party. But God forbid, I wouldn't be happy to see the Right Honorable Amama Mbabazi walk away from the party. But we have seen this happen. We have seen basically walk away from the movement. We have seen lately Sejusa walk away. We have seen General Muntu, among others. But this has not stopped Ugandans from having trust in the NRM. Many of this we attribute to the able leadership of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni that has managed to steer this revolution forward. And this is why we say believe.
Let me bring it closer to home. And I've asked young, energetic NRM stalwarts like yourself what the future is for young people within NRM, because we see you increasingly propping other leaders as opposed to propping one amongst yourselves.
But Simon, I've always said this. I don't know what exactly you mean. Simon, I am not as old as President Museveni. I am not as old as the Secretary General. Yes. But here I am a member of Parliament and participating, contributing towards the development of this country.
So for you, you have arrived. There is no further way.
No, you see, you see, like I've told you,
we, as NRM, able Secretary General, you can't be president. I want to be.
Yes, it's true. Even you, by the way, can be president.
Bring it on.
Anybody on this rooftop can be president. But what is important? What kind of president will they be? I think this is what we talk about here, and that's why we still believe President.
There will be a young, energetic president who is in touch with the changing times.
And I've always told you, I've always told that in the NRM, that is not our question. It is not about the biological content of who holds which position. It is our mission, what we want to achieve in this country. Our biggest mission, our biggest slogan now is socio-economic transformation. It doesn't depend whether you're gray-haired, whether you're young or old, but importantly, if you all adhere to the principle of this group, the NRM, okay, look at the challenges that our country faces. If we are still able to move, we agree on the minimum agenda, and that is our mission. It's not about whether, Simon, you have a bald head or not. That's not our mission, and that's not the question. Yes,
I take that as a compliment.
Yes, so in fact, sometimes the more you age, the more experienced you become. like you, Simon. Do you think if I came to the media fraternity now, I'll be as experienced and good as you are? I may not be. So these are the kind of opportunities
then
that
I
we don't
be in
want to lose.
position to allow you to have the ambition and aspiration to be like me. I would not kick you
I
out
have
of the
always
newsroom
told you that
simply because you have the
ambition is important.
Absolutely.
But
now
negative
we are
ambition
seeing
is
people
wrong.
who are showing ambition being sidelined in the NRM using the caucus
There
speech
is no
for the most part
no,
remains a mob justice
There
arm of the
no,
NRM.
Simon, there's no any injustice, there's no any mob justice in the NRM. What as we as leaders in the NRM, at whatever level, what the statement we have made is our opinion, okay? And you also know very, very well, and Simon, you bear witness, time will come when we will have a national delegates conference where we are going to be choosing leaders of the party, and this will happen. I will, but sometime next year.
Well, there we are. Let's get into a lighter note since it's a Friday morning and you're a young person, always Swev and Debonair. What's for Friday, Kenneth? I'm taking you away from politics. What's for Friday? As a young man, legislator with some money to themselves, how do you relax on a Friday?
No, but importantly, leave it on as a legislator, but as a doctor, this is what human beings should do. That one, you work hard, but you should also find time to refresh and rejuvenate. Okay? So it depends. Others, I don't know who brought this. I think this is colonial. That Friday is a time to relax. That you have lunch at 1 o'clock, you have dinner at 5,
then
and
you
so
go out
on.
and party till morning.
Party till morning. I think this. I don't know who imposed this into us believing that. But I should say Friday. Yes, it is the beginning of a weekend. People go out.
No, talk about yourself. We talk about yourself.
Myself.
I am out to watch a concert.
I am always
What do you
busy.
do to relax?
To relax, I read. I do read.
People find reading painful. How do you relax reading?
No, reading is, you see, when you read...
Don't make yourself very serious.
When
Let's be honest here.
Yeah, when you read...
Will I bump into you in some bar later?
No, I love listening to music. I listen to music.
So we can go dancing
I
tonight?
do sporting. I am a very good footballer, by the way. I play football.
For what club?
I jog around. And one other very interesting sport for me is actually motor rallying. I love it.
Wow.
And actually, you may one of these days see me in a rally, behind the rally car wheels.
That explains why some people refer to him as fast and furious. Dr. Kenneth Omona, Member of Parliament for Kabera Maido County, and also a young tack making and shaking things within the NRM. This morning discussing with us the goings on in the NRM, which has been our big story for much of this week. Let's take a short break. When we return, it's Simon Says. Well, there we have it. The big story as has been developing this entire week, the goings on within the NRM. Now, all the people that we've had on this very dais for the whole week discussing this issue have fomented and stressed one major point. And the point is cohesion within the party. The second, unrelatedly, discipline within the party. The third, but also relatedly, is that ambition is very healthy. For as long as ambition does not border on indiscipline, does not border on breaking apart a party. Now, it remains to be seen, and of course, this can only be proven beyond reasonable doubt if I have the principles in this pull and push on whether the ambition of Prime Minister Amam Babazi, if any, he will tell us, was on the brink of destabilizing the party to the extent that there was indiscipline being fomented and there was a breakdown or a fragmentation of party membership. Now, that remains to be seen. But it's a developing story that we'll keep an eye on. But of course, for those of you who follow the goings on in the political space, this is a station to watch. For those of you who are going to enjoy a wonderful weekend, of course, this is the station to watch as well, because we change our programming just to suit your whims and fancies. Have a wonderful morning and a wonderful Women's Day celebration for our women folk. Good morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus came to set you free and to be free indeed.
In life, you don't wait. There are certain times where you wait for certain decisions, but when it comes to taking action and choices, you have to move.
Jesus Christ found me, and he actually asked me a question, whether I wanted to live or to die.
Every day of my life was struggling. It's just that God has given me this kind of hope.
GXP every Sunday only on NTV, your official inspiration station.
Me? Oh, you give me way too much credit.
You know what? You got what you want. But what shocks me is that you don't care at all about Hakim and Lulu.
What was that? That was me trying to save the two of us. At the expense of someone's career? A man's got to do what a man's got to do to survive. All I need is answers.
How about you stay away from my reporters and stay away from my newspaper?
Hakim could be Mabel's son, but that's yet to be verified.
But where do you get all these stories from?
I'm a journalist, but what I don't buy...
If you spend less time on the phone, you should probably move up to speed.
Oh gee, thanks for the advice.
I am your mother, not one of your cheap whores, and you need to show me some respect.
Let me tell you one thing, baby, no nabimanyire bya Gilbert.
Will you shut your lips?
There
is something you need to know about Chris.
And that I'll find my corner, maybe tonight.
I don't want him anyone near my baby. I don't want to see him.
Just save it. Save it.
Stop it. Just follow me.
That's what happened.
I just wanna hold
Lucia, I don't get what you're saying.
This woman is trouble. She's going to ruin my everything. I can't even trust myself around her.
Remember who the boss is here. How can I forget? She's running after a married man and she's making me do all her dirty work.
I can't see you.
Oh, give me love, mama, give me love. Give me love like never before. Cause lately I've been craving more.
Oda, I no go stop to the singing.
No problem. Keep singing. This singing will put you in trouble very soon. You won't believe it's the boy's father that inflicted such injury on him. Just because he stole 50 naira. 50 naira for that matter. That man should be arrested. Oh, how I wish I could just see that man and give him a piece of money. Abigail, I don't care if you're chatting with Barack Obama. When you're at work, you learn how to detach yourself from that phone else to get you into trouble. Whatever. I mean, you should be happy that a pilot is asking your friend out.
My brother, I learned that 3 armed robbers tried to rob a man as he came out of the bank at the junction before the express.
Don't try to be the hero.
You won't kill me.
Do you know how long I've been waking you up quietly and you refuse to wake?
Now you can't interrupt someone.
I'd like to pray with you, nurses, being the vessels that the Almighty God has been using to heal his people.
Okay. Can someone please talk to me? What is going on?
Who is she?
See, I hate cheating in my life. I hate cheating and nothing will make me have 50 kobo to that money I already get you.
Asimwe, you're drunk. Don't worry.
Send it.
So I came.
Tawanya demo mwenge.
Hani kutamu. Nkuonyerera bwanzenja kukuba.
Tonna kusasula myezi ebiri da nyumba gye batubanja. Oli mukunywa mwenge n'abakazi.
Kikulu nnyo fe abeewola okumanya zi banka n'abatuwola engeri gye babalamu amagoba.
Lwaki obuuza ekibuuzo ekyo?
Sente zaabwe.
Dembe lyo ekyo kikulu nnyo okukimanya. Onfuna kikulu nnyo okusooka okunoonyereza tusobole okwetegereza n'okwekkaanya. Okifuna amagoba n'oluvannyuma tulondeeko amagoba agasinzeeko okuba amatono.
running out of airtime can happen to anyone. The next time you recharge, simply dial *161# to get going again.
On the next episode of
Soni manyawa mtamayo zibambiri mukona ne NTV nga kumulundi kuno tulese ebyakabi ebikyasinze okuba ebinyewira nga mumanyi ndi kulina kulukutana tukuyiza ndi kuleta ebyakabi tukolete empozo boli awo musajja munamasaka Mathias walukaga nga tukulira embera gyayisemu n'okuba nti baagala mubba baagala mutta
kati yawoza musima ngenda kufa olagula kati yatubulire afadde
tutunulidde abayimbi abasinze okukola sofa omwaka guno 2014 nakyo kye bakozeewo saawa 4 n'ekitundu koona ne NTV kozi banamasaka tugenda kwa namwe weekend nyinyi tova ku NTV byonna ebisingawo ojja kubimanya twegatteko ng'oneketie mukona likawaka banganika mu baka bw'erinnya lye wabo sinzidde weza ku 65 65.
At Orange, we know that running out of airtime can happen to anyone. That's why we bring you Wetase. Simply dial *161# to get going again. Convenience changes with Orange. Today changes with Orange.
You're watching Morning at NTV.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock, coming to you live from the Kampala Serena Hotel rooftop, and there's a beehive of activity here on set. And if you're at home also, I hope that we are definitely starting your Friday morning. An array of good stuff coming up ahead. If you're a lover of music and a supporter of beautiful women, I'm telling you, today is going to be one of those days, and we'll be talking about, you know, helping our ladies get up to the place that they need to be. And before the break, we had Honorable Dr. Omona with us on the big story. Simon, they are talking to him. He's one of the movers of the 5th term of the president. What are your thoughts on this? And we have a question here that came in. Hold on. All right, at Kalexka, I'm saying, your show is so straight. Simon is on point. Keep nailing those politicians. Okay, I hope Simon is hearing this and definitely getting everything out of Dr. Omona. And someone also says Dr. Omona should tell us, while Amama Mbabazi is being fired from the Secretary General, a democratic position, to an appointment position. All right. Mbabazi should follow what Besigye advised him to do, to leave NRM and join us for anti-Musevenism. All right, these are some of your comments on Twitter. And remember, you can also let us know what you think about this on our Twitter page at Morning at NTV. But also go to our Facebook page, Morning at NTV, and help us answer some of those questions we posted up, and also your thoughts on whatever is going on in the NRM as far as the Mbabazi question is concerned. Maybe we'll also be sampling us later in the show on what you have said on Facebook. But for now, if you are leaving the office, you're stuck at work, you are leaving your home, here is an update on traffic. Good morning. That's good. All right, so today, the 7th of March, 2014, this is what it looks like in Kampala. Jimmy has sent us this picture from Bukoto, no, from Chisasi. And that was about 35 minutes ago. Chisasi was still dark. And, all right, I can't seem to get the pictures going there for you. But let's take a look at Chintu Road and what's happening there. The traffic is very steady, slow, borders. The road is really clear and very clear. So wherever, if you're going to Parliament, MTN Towers, Crescent Towers, you can use this as an access road. And yeah, well, this road seems to be always good, I guess. Since Shimoni was removed, things are now fine. All right, wherever you are, become a traffic reporter. Feel free to WhatsApp that picture, or if you're not just even in Kampala, you can tell us wherever it is to 0 quadro 7 16730. That is 0 quadro 7 16730. 730. Here is Mabel standing by at the NTV studios with your birthday wishes. Good morning.
Happy birthday to you.
Well, thank you for joining us this Friday morning, the 7th of March. And celebrating birthdays today, we have Hope Nalubega, who studied at Uganda Matters University. Happy birthday to you, Hope. We also have Penny Muthoni Mwangi, who works at Impact in Uganda. She studied at Kampala International College. And Patrick Odongo was also born this day, the 7th of March. We do wish you the very best. May you live to blow thousands of candles. Now, moving on to our Facebook page, we're pleased to announce we have 8,982 likes. So let's make them 10,000 by Monday. And just to show you, we have a picture here of Simon and Kenneth Omona, whom he hosted earlier. To some of your messages, Junior James says, "Oh Uganda, our motherland, old people are eliminating themselves." We have Seguya Byron Allen, who says, "Mbabazi, Museveni, Bukenya, we are fed up of these lads." I don't know what AGY means. Aaron Katana says, "If Mr. Mbabazi is wrong, let him answer charges, if there are any." Nkore John says, "Mbabazi should follow what Besigye advised him to do." And we had that story in the news earlier. And Zach says the two former finance, he's answering the question that we had asked earlier. Geoffrey says, "Guys, thanks a lot for the show, but please, can you advise Kasiati to stop being so biased? He's always attacking the opposition and some individuals who try to challenge NRM. He's never objective, yet he claims to be an intellectual. Let him try to separate his personal interests from the show. We know he earns a lot from government deals. He spoils my mornings. But anyway, no matter what, you remain the best." And we are also committed to reading whatever it is you write. Good morning, lads. I appreciate the program and the products, but I want to hint on what would be a minus in my opinion. Mr. Senyonyi, with all due respect, I guess he would appreciate more if he made less noise, because it's also disturbing. Otherwise, we appreciate the fundamental change. And then on an earlier story we had, Aaron says, "Rebel MPs are just wasting time and confusing those who support them more. Case will turn against them. Let us wait." Mona Lisa says, "Brian is too quiet. Joel is too hyper and loud." And someone is saying, "Morning NTV, you are the #1 in East Africa and the best morning program." Moving on still to some more of your messages about the big story. Someone is asking here, "But please help us and bring Honorable Mbabazi in the morning so that we can also get his view." Mutebi Rawlings says, "This is just political drama. There's nothing big about him joining hands with Besigye or the opposition. Don't you guys know that it's the same government that funds political parties? Let them stop fooling us." And then Geoffrey Odong says, "NRM has reached its peak. It is now declining." Dennis Odong says, "If Museveni continued throwing away the people that held him to the top of the youth NRM MPs, he is missing a point. He must develop a way of handling all ages and catapult over criticism and challenges from his fears." Someone wishing someone happy birthday. Still lots more comments here on Mbabazi. We have Ishanga saying, "Simon, that MP may be confused saying term limits about his term limits, and that cannot be the truth." As Iga Simon says, "I have no more words to say. Ebintu bizibu, as one singer put it, the hunter is now being the hunted." We shall now return to the Kampala Serena Hotel rooftop to Brian for the HTC moment.
Every idea we have begins with you. The way you connect, how you browse, how you share, and how you interact with the world around you. Down to the last detail, you inspire everything. Because in the end, innovation doesn't really matter unless it does something that really matters to you. And we are HTC.
I'm using my HTC One Max 16 after 8 o'clock from the... I can see most people on set here looking at me with a very beautiful phone. Joined by Herbert from NTV, who's our marketing manager. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
And John Paul, the man with the money.
Morning.
He's
Yes.
he's
We
the
are
boss.
privileged.
Good morning, JP. Good morning. All right, and today on the HTC Moment, we told you on Friday we'll be giving out these phones. Every week, we give out 3 phones, courtesy of HTC Quietly Brilliant. And later, I'll be sharing with you something that JP has just told me about the HTC camera. But we have our winners in the building, and I'll let Herbert do the honors.
Good morning, viewers. Without wasting much time, let me call upon Mr. Bukenya John to come forth.
Bukenya John.
Oyino mukisa gwa manyi. Wewangulidde simu. Okay.
Chuka abantu bakulabe, chuka abantu bakulabe.
NTV ebeewo mbali n'akasimu kange kano kankaddiyeeko.
Katukalabe.
Kaako.
Tekaina na linnya bakayita Kristo.
Owaye naye banferera awo.
Tuyite mu bwangu nga okola mulimu ki?
Ndi musajja mubazi.
Musajja mubazi ono. Musajja wa maanyi nnyo. Weebale nnyo okuansalinga ebibuuzo byaffe ate ne wewangula HTC.
NTV ebeewo.
Kale weebale nnyo ssebo.
Obeewo John.
Owokubiri is called Hilary Luwasima.
Hilary Wasima.
Mr. Hilary Luwasima, you can see he looks like a hot stepper dancer.
Morning viewers. NTV, I call it my morning class. Whenever I wake up in the morning, I get into the class.
Yeah.
So everybody watching out there, whenever you enter into a class, you have to answer some questions. This is an exercise. I'll get done with it. Thank you, people.
All right. Enjoy your HTC Desire 300 JP. Handing over the HTC.
And then the last, of course not the least, is Mr. Byagaga David. Sebo, wewale nnyo kujja.
Good morning, viewers. My name is Byagaga David Luther, one of the HTC winner. NTV, oh yeah. Thanks for our phone, NTV and HTC. It's a Nokia Asha. Don't throw it.
For real, those phones should not be on our set.
Maybe John Paul has something to say.
All right, John Paul. HTC is doing an amazing job. You've just told me that on this camera, you can take the picture, and then you see there are so many bystanders. But how come there's this bicycle? You edit it and remove it there and then on location.
Yeah,
these are beautiful phones with awesome features.
Thank you, Brian. There are quite many features that HTC has actually brought out. HTC has been, like you said previously, we are nominated as the best handset for 2013-2014.
Right.
Because of the features. The feature I was telling you this morning is the ability, let me say if you're taking a photograph and someone passes and you don't want them to be in, it has the capability of picking them out. And you leave the only people that actually you want in the phone.
You know those things we used to do in the past when say when you're breaking up with a girl, you cut her side out. If you are holding like this, you cut this part out.
This time you just take her out.
Tomorrow is Women's Day. We love it. That's why you're putting on.
Yeah,
all right.
It's quite an amazing phone, actually.
You've been voted the best, handset for 2013. What does that mean for HTC as a brand?
It has actually boosted us so much. The brand is picking up. I'm pretty happy with the brand pickup in Uganda. Previously, it wasn't as popular as, but now many people are picking it up. And as HTC Hub, we are trying our level best to make it as accessible or as cost-friendly as possible. And we're very happy about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there are other models. There's the HTC Desire 600. I see you with the HTC Desire 1.
Yeah, 700.
Okay.
We have a couple, actually, probably what I can actually tell. There are many customers in Uganda have dual SIMs. HTC has one of the best dual SIMs that you can ever have, actually.
Right.
The functions that it actually does, and you can imagine them. Probably in the next couple of weeks, we'll bring a few on set and show a few things, and probably to enlighten on. Previously, people thought that dual SIMs are China.
Yes.
HTC has a few, but lovely dual SIMs.
Awesome.
So for those who want dual SIMs, please pass by HTC Hub.
Right. HTC Hub at the Forest Mall. You go there and grab one of those phones. And of course, HTC powering everyday life, quietly brilliant. We'll be right back with a surprise from women that are just too talented. Huh? If a man, you've been very afraid to do this thing, women are going to show you how it's done. Everyday life is coming up. Stay with us.
Every idea we have begins with you. The way you connect, how you browse, how you share, and how you interact with the world around you. Down to the last detail, you inspire everything. Because in the end, innovation doesn't really matter unless it does something that really matters to you. And we are HTC.
Everyday Life is brought to you by...
And we are HTC.
Hey, Satika, Yunuka, stand up for what is right. Satika, Yunuka, stand up for what is right. Satika, Yunuka, stand up for what is right. Hey, stand up for what is right, even when it's so hard. Don't let your courage fail you, or let your fear pull you down. Lift up your head real high, stand on your feet real strong. Lift up your head and do what is right. Satika, Yunuka, stand up for what is right. Satika, Yunuka, stand up for what is right. Satika, Yunuka, stand up for what is right. Hey, stand up for what is right. Don't turn your head away. Turn and get like you do. Don't let the evil take control. Lift up your head real high. Stand on your feet real strong. Lift up your head and do what is right. Satika, Yunuka, stand up for what is right. Satika, Yunuka, stand up for what is right. Satika, Yunuka, stand up for what is right. Hey, stand up for what is right. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay.
Have it Sifa Kelele with beautiful sounds this morning. And this is a group of ladies that actually are in a band. And today we've just had two ladies because the others are teachers and they have to be at their day jobs. But that is Sifa Kelele. We'll be sampling one of their favorite songs, one of my favorite songs later in the show called Narinya. But if you have attended one of their concerts, it's different when a man is playing music, but when a woman is playing music, it's heavenly. because they put so much detail in everything. Well, good morning, wherever you are joining us from 26 minutes after 8 o'clock this morning, ahead of the International Women's Day. Today, I'm very privileged to host the winner of the 2013 David Arsenault Journalism Award. She has written for prestigious publications like The Guardian, The Independent in the UK. Good morning, Patience.
Good morning, Brian.
How are you?
Pleasure to meet you today.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
You're a journalist, but also a lawyer. How do you balance these two things?
Oh, I'm not sure I balance them. As a matter of fact, it's always such a challenge, you know, doing one thing and then the other. But I just think one feeds into the other because I write about human rights.
Okay.
So every time I'm writing about human rights, in a way, I'm doing the lawyer thing and promoting human rights and things like that. So I'd like to think they feed into each other, and it's, you know, it's not exactly a balanced issue, but marrying them together.
Right. Ahead of the International Women's Day tomorrow, we're trying to look at, you know, the space that women have, you know, in this. And we're trying to look at the challenges, you know, of the modern woman right now. Trying to balance work. Yesterday I hosted a lady that balances almost everything. She's a mother, she's a TV personality, she's a radio personality, she's a businesswoman, and she's, you know, she's a wife. All this stuff is done by one person. In your work, what have you seen are challenges of the woman right now?
Well, it's come with a lot of opportunity. The spaces are much more open now, and I think a woman can very much do whatever they please to do right now in Uganda. But when it comes to society, you see there are certain expectations. You're expected to have a number of kids. You're expected to skyrocket in your career. And sometimes it's actually not practicable. And sometimes women who feel like they do not meet this particular criteria of the modern successful woman might feel like, you know, they're held back. And yeah, that's the major challenge, just trying to meet societal expectations and living up to this superwoman.
Right. In your own work, what have been some of the challenges you face? You know, you do work for prestigious publications, The Guardian. You don't just get there and you know, everything works out.
And there is low expectations. For me, the most daunting thing about being a woman journalist is, you know, the fact that you're expected to write lifestyle, and you have to prove yourself twice over before they give you the important feature.
They always tell you to write about makeup and fashion.
Yeah, they look at you and they go, oh, there is a fashion show here. Would you like to go and cover it? And yet, you know, you're out to do more serious work. No offense to fashion journalism, but you know, it's so cliche that as a woman you're going to cover musicians, you're going to cover fashion, and you have to excel double what a man has to do before they actually hand you over, you know, the important bits.
Right. Where is the place of men in this? Are men supporting women, or it's still, you know, you are a woman, you stay in the kitchen and in the bedroom, that's where you're limited to?
You see, patriarchy is really deeply entrenched. It's not something that's going to change overnight, that you're going to marry somebody and then there will be the supportive husband who's going to cook in the kitchen, because this is not how they were raised. And it's very hard to get the men, you know, to fall in line and support their wives and look after the baby sometimes, wake up and and feed the baby a bottle or put the baby to sleep. And, you know, I'd like to think it's something that's going to take time, and it's something that we, the young people, have to do with our sons, because these are grown men. Their parents raised them to be the typical men, and we can only try so hard and put them on board and enlighten them and tell them, you know, times have changed. A woman is not a machine. But I think if we have sons, with the young people, we should raise them to be the men we want them to be the supportive men, and to leave the patriarchal setting aside and just move with the times.
There's always a floating debate that you know, you're a lawyer, you're a journalist, you are a human rights advocate. Largely, I would also add the title of feminist. And you're blinding the woman that is supposed to be obedient and, you know, and good to her husband, and you're doing all that, and somehow you're helping women become rebellious in their families. Is this true?
I'd like to think I'm helping women be good women, you see. I'm enlightening them so that they are strong women who can stand up. This is a hard world. It's not viable anymore to be the woman who wakes up in the morning and sits back and waits for your husband. Financial times have changed. Even if you're living in the village, you know,
Right.
you have to work hard, you have to go to the gardens, and this is what I'm saying. And once the men realize this, they realize it's not a rebellion issue, but rather it's an issue of pulling our resources together. Women have so much within them. They are so talented, they're so brilliant, they're so strong. So why should we just let them sit back and do nothing? It's unfair to the men, you see. So what I'm saying is, let's bring the woman on board.
What are the opportunities for women? You know, just the other day, the Minister of Trade, Honorable Chambade, was saying women can also use space, this space, say, in bricklaying and or rubbish collecting, and they can go there and harness the opportunities there. As away from rubbish collection, because I also think that that is kind of, you know, putting women still at the back. What are the opportunities that especially young people like you can use?
Well, in theory, the opportunities are there. In theory, you can be a doctor, you can be a surgeon, you can be a parliamentary journalist. But there are some very real, you know, challenges that stand in the way. For example, you've heard about our end miniskirt harassment, you know, campaign. If you went to parliament, if I went to parliament right now like this, I'm a journalist, there's something happening, I'm rushing there, and they'll tell me as a woman, you know, you're not dressed right, you're looking too sexy. So a lot of people are finding it hard to see beyond the woman, you know, to see beyond you physically and what society thinks you stand for, and see what you're capable of. And these are the real challenges amidst the opportunity. So it's important for every woman, every man, for the government to not be blind to these challenges, to not pretend that it's a level play field and every woman is just going to get up and fly.
But I thought it has been now. Politically, you guys are competing all over. You know, there's been a lot of talk about a potential president, you know, a woman president in Uganda. Of course, the speaker is a woman. Most of the business people here are women. Huge authorities and, you know, in this country are also headed by women, and they're doing well. Isn't it a leveled playing field already?
No, far from it. I'll give you a simple example. If a brother and a sister go home after school in the evening, they'll tell her, you know, you have to go and wash plates while your brother reads. The same with parliament. There's been a report that says women in parliament are actually sexually harassed by the men. They might be women, but they do not understand the gender dynamics of it all. And they might be women, but they're not at the helms. They've been given token positions. So it's not just about having several women in position or having affirmative action. It's about actively recognizing these challenges, you see. And there is the shackled man comparison. You shackle somebody for 100 years, you know, or maybe 5 years, and then somebody has been training to run for you know, a Kiprotich has been running, doing a lot of races, and suddenly you put the shackled person with Kiprotich, of course, and you say, you know, it's fair. You say, you know, it's fair, the terrain is fair, you've been eating the same food the past week. Yeah, that's what Uganda is basically doing to women. Yeah.
Well, that's some very good insight. Ahead of the International Women's Day tomorrow, a stern reminder, you know, women what they are and what they should do. From a woman like you that has, you progressed a lot, you know. Very few women will never get to where you are. And very few corporate women will also never get to where you are. So I don't want a very adverse, you know, advice to women, but anything that you're leaving out women this morning.
Well, it's very kind of you to say that I've advanced and I've gotten to where I am. But I think for everybody, you know, it's a struggle to be the best we can be. It's not a competition with the next woman, you know. It's a competition with yourself. It's just, even if you are a housewife.
That's very nice. Not a competition with the next woman.
No.
And you guys are also, there's a war between you know, yourselves. You are stopping yourselves from progressing.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are very many women who are deep-rooted in the patriarchal system, who help the men shackle women, you see, and they too need enlightenment. They too need to know that when you hold another woman's hand, you know, you're pulling not just you, you're pulling your daughter, and you're pulling your granddaughters, and you're pulling the nation. So this is just something they should, you know, realize and just be the best woman they can be. If you are a housewife, be a strong housewife, stand for your children. If you're a corporate woman, you know, push and rise above the bar. There is nothing like this woman is super talented. Right. You know, we are just all gifted in different ways.
Right. Patience Akumo. Nice for you to come, you know, pass by. We have very few minutes on the segment, but we'll definitely call you back and we talk about more, even helping the woman understand who she is and what her place is, you know, in society. If you want to get any feedback from us, and of course, we'd like to know some of your questions, we'll get on our Facebook page and help us understand these things and more. Go to Morning at NTV, which is our Facebook page, and Twitter at Morning at NTV. Standing by is Isma with the sports. Good morning, Isma. It's a very big day today.
Good morning. We might all be sad that all public holidays in this year will come over the weekend, and tomorrow is International Women's Day. But while we prepare for Women's Day, the lady golfers will be in NTV. Either of Golola or Mugola will spend tomorrow in hospital or at home nursing wounds. KCC will be hosting in Canary Devils, while Arsenal try to book a trip to Wembley in the FA Cup. All that and more when we get back to sport.
Join me in a couple of minutes with Isma and Mabel and Sifa Kelele. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Everyday Life was brought to you by...
And we are HTC.
People, 50 days, one task.
An incredible journey of 10,000 kilometers to deliver a taste of home to Humphrey Kayange in London.
A journey you can be part of. We're looking for 25 people to say Twende Kazi and join the Tusker 25 on this mission.
Join me.
Join me.
Join me. Join me.
Join me. Join us and be a part of Africa's most epic TV show. Twende Kazi.
Are you and I ever gonna have a chance to be sisters?
You want the baby to have my name?
Would that be okay?
So I'm happy you came. Yes, especially since I thought you were shunning all things Newman. I have my own reasons for showing up.
What did you say about him?
I'm sorry, attempted rape.
Okay, look, whatever you think you know about him, you don't know his heart.
If there is a way to make me feel more miserable, you will instinctively find it.
You gave up the one woman you loved, and now you're having a hard time figuring out how to move on?
I can't imagine who would want to hurt a good man like you.
Okay, you know what? I don't need you telling me how to feel about Lily.
Are you pregnant? No. Then why are you trying to alienate Tyler?
Has something happened between the two of you?
Are you afraid that I'm gonna do something to ruin your marriage, or that you will?
Why don't we have a party? I'll bring Nikki and bring your siblings. How's that?
Now, what are you gonna do? You gonna blackmail them this time, or are you gonna bribe them?
Looks like Mommy's not the only one who knows how to make up a story.
Running out of airtime can happen to anyone. The next time you recharge, simply dial *161# to get going again.
On the next episode of La Patrona.
And quite frankly, I could care less about meeting her. Why do you want me to go?
It's best if you go to the party and find out for yourself, Alejandro.
You're gonna learn how to respect the ladies in this house.
I don't care about your grandma, but Valentina and I love each other, so you need to deal with that.
I will not deal with it. I'll break your face.
No, please stop.
Hey,
Help
what's going on here? What's going on, huh?
Come on, Gaston, what did you expect? For the main mad woman in me to be locked up here all day while you and Gabriella, you're out risking your lives or having fun or doing God knows what? No, you're mistaken. I didn't get out of the asylum to have to be locked up ever again.
And you, what did you expect?
La Patrona.
At Orange, we know that running out of airtime can happen to anyone. That's why we bring you Wetase. Simply dial *161# to get going again. Convenience changes with Orange. Today changes with Orange.
"18 minutes on to 9 o'clock. Good morning. It's International Women's Day Eve. And today on the show, earlier I had Patience Atim, who is a lawyer, a freelance journalist, has written for The Guardian, Independent UK, and she was here telling us about some of the opportunities that women can harness. While it's a leveled playing field for men for many years, women have just come on board. What can we do to help women become better in society? And so you can contribute on our avenues, Twitter and Facebook. And this morning in sport, Isma here. Good morning, Isma.
Very good morning.
You don't look very fine this morning.
No, when I don't have the jacket on, I look a bit weird. I'm getting used to.
Yeah. And I didn't know you were a small man. The jacket kind of.
No, it's the shirt. It's the shirt that is small. I'm quite big.
All right, golf this morning. Not the names you want to hear at the NTV Ladies Open, which is of this morning at the Lakeside. But who should we look out for?
I think not having Idi Madina, the Tanzanian girl who won there last year, and then Flavia Namakula being in Nairobi for the Kenya Open, which has taken many of the golfers. I know Dewa Kopetu is there. I know Dennis Anguye is there, and then Philip Kasozi for the men. I think not having those two, the last year's winner and the Uganda's best female golfer, is a bit of a dampen on the entire tournament. And also knowing that Jasper Kamukame, a former Uganda Open winner, is also not playing. So you're going to look at probably Irene Nakalembe and a host of golfers from Kigali who have made the journey across the border to come and play in one of the bigger tournaments of the year, but for financial reasons, does not attract the kind of players that, for example, the Kenya Open does attract. The amount of money that the Kenya Open does command. I was actually watching images last evening of the filming done by Supersport for the Kenya Open, and that's a difference that money can make. But hopefully for over the 70 golfers who are going to be in NTV, should be a good time, because it's a big opportunity when the favorites are not playing, so anyone else can come and win. So many of them will be look at it in that kind of sense. Unlike me, who is think about it, okay, no Madina, no Namakula, no Kamukamo is suspended, so I'll be thinking, okay, we needed all these there, especially that now it's International Women's Day tomorrow. But not having them there is a bit of a damper. But on the other hand, for all the others who are playing, a good chance for them to win a tournament.
Well, next week I'm actually going to go and kind of tee up. And,
you're going to part.
I'm going to part, and I'll make a budget about a bogey.
Yeah, you'll make about a triple bogey on one hole.
Next week.
Well, today we have Mugula and Golola, light middleweight, playing today. Did you see anything from the weigh-in yesterday?
I was first of all surprised that Mugula, I think, is a kilo heavier than Golola. That's a bit weird.
But Golola's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he has. He has, and he has, I think, for the time he's trained in Kenya for the previous fight. The one he won, the one in Natete, the one he won that only him and the judges know that he won that, because everyone who came in knew Golola had lost the fight, except for the judges. But this is a good one, I think, for both. Golola has been the father, or the guy who brought kickboxing from nowhere and put it in people's faces. And you can see the number of kickboxers has gone up. From Mugula, who was fighting in Germany, decided to come back home. And then Titus Tugume, who was still fighting in the amateur level, decided to turn professional, got beat badly by Golola previously. So I think it will be a very, very good fight. Mugula's advantage in terms of weight, probably for me, in terms of weight, that 1 kilo, will be compensated for the fact that they are different fighters. Gole, very good boxer, because he spent most of his formative years fighting as a boxer. Then Mugula, very good with his feet. He can swing a few legs. So I want to see the clash of styles, the boxer and the kicker. Van Damme versus Mike Tyson. Something close to that. And that's probably as Golola would put it. And the language, you cannot actually repeat the things he says, however much you try to recall them. But it will be a very good fight. I'm backing Golola to win this one. I'm backing Golola.
And you know what? I love Golola. And I think this is the fight where he needs to prove to people that he has what it takes to beat Mugula. Well, you can catch the only man that can climb Mountain Dew later tonight. All right, KCCA going for a knockout punch against Canary Devils. Will last Saturday's draw in Zambia also be enough?
Probably it should be. Now that they have 2 away goals. Now the problem for me is that I'm a very pessimistic person when it comes to the things I want to do well. I'm very pessimistic about everything I love. Now the problem with this is that while KCCA have that 2-goal advantage, I remember Villa vividly about 10 years ago back in 2004. They went to Angola and won their game by 2-2 and then lost at Nambole by 2-0. So while KCCA should go in with a very positive mind, with the performance they've had away from home, they've not won a game at Nambole on the continent. Okay, those are very few because there have been 3 of them against Power Dynamos, then against Ajax Cape Town, and then Elmerik last month. So there's a lot of things that George Nsimbe should do to get the team very competitive and be able to get the result. I would think that regardless of whether KCCA are playing at home or away, they've got to be more cautious. They've got to play, for me, a very defensive game to get the kind of result they need. Now, in that kind of defensive game, of course, it could be counterproductive. If you give Nkana too much of the ball when they are playing away from him, it could be counterproductive. But probably the best chance of KCCA, now that they are the ones in the driving seat, is to play on the counter-attack. You have Tony Odu can pick up the ball and run at people. You have William Wadu can play that pass. You have Haman Wasa who has a lot of energy. Now, in that kind of sense, I have a feeling that KCCA have got to play with a lot more caution, knowing the kind of way they played at Nambole. And if they do that, they only need to score once, and for me, they'll be through. The moment they get a goal, I don't think Nkana will be out here to score 2 goals to knock them out. Yeah.
You've rated them that low?
Yeah, because they are not the powerhouse they were in the 80s and 90s.
Right. Well, let's move on to England.
Yes, there's a bit of FA and Premier League, but we're going to talk about the FA. Arsenal has a very tight fixture with Everton, and I'm thinking Arsenal just get the raw deal all the time. In UEFA, it's tough. Now it's Arsenal and Everton. Man City play Wigan.
I think at the point when Arsene Wenger does retire from football, from management, he should join the FA and be the one who designs the fixtures because he can fix the fixtures. But while there is a fixture between last year's finalists, between Man City and Wigan, the one that Wigan won, like you say, Arsenal have the toughest fixture, and there is no good news coming out of Arsenal because last season it was declared Jack Wilshere will be out for 6 weeks because he has a hairline fracture on his left foot. Now that's a bit of a problem for them. Now the problem is that Everton are a gritty side. They can combine grit and flair under Roberto Martinez. And you know that Martinez is the manager who led Wigan to the FA Cup final last year, beat up on Man City. So there's a very good chance that Everton could go to the Emirates and win. But then the worst thing Arsenal wouldn't need, for me, are 2 things. One is an injury from this one, because this is the start of another phase of very tough fixtures. Everton, then Bayern Munich, then Tottenham, then Chelsea and Man City over the next 4 weeks. So they don't need another injury. For me, then the next one, they don't need a replay. If Arsenal are going to take care of this game, they've got to win it here and now. Probably they've got to start in the way they started against Sunderland in the league a few weeks ago. And that's probably the thing they need. And that's normally do well in the FA Cup. That's why they have won 10. All United have won more with 11.
Right.
Yeah.
Chelsea and Tottenham?
A very good chance for Chelsea to go 7 points clear, because the teams that are in second, Arsenal playing the FA Cup and Liverpool, are off this weekend. So Jose Mourinho playing at Stamford, we should be looking at this as a very good opportunity for them to go on and win the league. He might call himself the little horse in the title race, but if they get the moment they get a result like this one, Eden Hazard has been struggling with an injury, but the moment Chelsea get this result and go 7 points clear, everyone will know they can win the league. Everyone will be reminded, while Man City might have 2 games in hand, and Arsenal will have a game in hand after this weekend. If you're 7 clear with 9 games to go, if you don't win the league, then you're either Rafa Benitez or Claudio Ranieri or not a manager in football.
Wow. What are you thinking? I'm very scared about the weekend. Yeah. But moving on to Spain, Barcelona travel to Valladolid, while Real Madrid will host Levante and Atletico at Celta Vigo. Should they all 3 win?
I think all of them should win comfortably. Probably the tougher fixture should be Atletico at Celta Vigo, because they lost on their last visit to Almeria. So the confidence of playing away from home must have actually gone down a bit. But with the 3 host title race, where Real Madrid lead by only a point, this should be a weekend where all 3 win for me. And if either of them doesn't win, then that team that doesn't win will be out of the title race again. Because, and while I'm saying that, I remember just 2-3 weeks ago, I was here and we talked about how Madrid had won and then Barcelona had lost and also Atletico had lost at Almeria. But see what happened the following weekend. They played and then Real Madrid played Atletico and lost, and then Barcelona won their fixture. Then we are back to where we were. They again packed up. So I have a feeling that whoever loses, these are very easy fixtures for all three. Levante don't travel. Valladolid have conceded probably only, they have drawn 11 games, so they don't win that many. But on Rayo Vallecano have conceded more in the La Liga. Then Celta Vigo, for all their endeavor, for me are looking like a team that is going to spend the entire season fighting relegation, even the next 10, 15 fixtures for them. So all three should look at this as 3 points. You don't get 3 points, then the title will be much harder to win after this weekend.
Right. In Italy, we also have Udinese against AC Milan. There's Juventus against Fiorentina. There's Napoli against AS Roma. Where is the biggest game here?
It's got to be Napoli-Roma because...
Not Juventus, Fiorentina?
Yeah, while Juve, for me, are Champions League because they'll win the league. Fiorentina will be a tough fixture for them at the Juventus Stadium. But Juve have been so good at home that they've only conceded 4 goals the entire season. Wow. But now, while Juve are going to win, we are going to look at who is more beautiful between Napoli and Roma, because there are other 2 teams that are fighting. Besides Juve, now we are fighting for second. So I see an opportunity for Napoli, who have not been playing well. They drew their last game last weekend. And then Roma, who have lost only once this season, but some are not top of the league because they've drawn too many. So it should be those 2 who gets a result. And Napoli should be the one that have a lot of pressure on them because they're not playing as well as when they started the season. They've gone off the ball. They drew with Genoa. They are dropping points where they shouldn't at against Sassuolo. Such points have been very costly. But the 2 of them should constitute the biggest fixture, especially knowing that there is a race for that second spot in Italy.
Right. And in Germany?
In Germany, indeed, we know the title race has already been taken by Bayern.
Because Bayern Munich are 20 points clear?
That is a done deal, really.
Now, they are strolling, to the league title. But Dortmund and Schalke, Wolfsburg, which of them have the toughest fixtures this weekend?
Wolfsburg do, because they host Bayern Munich, and that is not a good one for them. Even if Wolfsburg got Luis Gustavo from Bayern, they should have a very tough fixture. And last weekend I watched them play very poorly at Hoffenheim. They lost that game at Hoffenheim by 6 goals to 2. So they have the toughest fixture. But for me, while Wolfsburg could have the toughest fixture on paper, when you start the season, you've got to measure the points you can get. Now, probably this is not the kind of fixture where Wolfsburg knew they would pick points from. So they can easily forget about that. Now, for all the other teams that are chasing Bayern or fighting for second, Leverkusen have a very tough fixture away at Hanover, who win only their home games. Then you look at Hoffenheim, high-scoring Hoffenheim travel to Schalke. Schalke, of course, their confidence should be dented. They conceded 6 against Real Madrid and then 5 against Bayern Munich. Yeah. So they are a team that leaks goals against a team that scores in Hoffenheim. Then you look at Dortmund. They seem to have turned the corner 1 week, and then the other, they're back to where Dortmund have been. So they're traveling. They're at Freiburg. That should be a very tough fix, I think. The way Dortmund are played away from home, even if Marcel Schmelzer is fit and then Mats Hummels will be in the team, because their problems have been defensive, I think, for me, for Dortmund. When I look at all 4 of the other teams that are chasing Bayern, probably fighting for second is the right word, is that Wolfsburg have the toughest fixture. And for me, it's only because they conceded 6 against Hoffenheim last weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that is definitely a quick wrap-up of sport, and you can catch more of this on Omomoli at 1:30 p.m. with Ismail, Lumansi, and Alan. And of course, you can catch Monday Sports Bar, 10:30 p.m. from Club Silk. And before we get these beautiful ladies back, here is your African proverb. Today's African proverb: a man who uses force is afraid of reasoning.
Wow. No wonder I can't get back to watching the ladies play the piano. Yeah, but I don't know how to use force. So probably you've met men who use force, Mabel.
No, I have not met. Women who fight with men, those are just... Why would you fight with a man, even if the man is small?
Women emancipation, I thought.
So, but I think it is true, because why would you, with maturity, why would you hit someone?
Okay, I've always thought that
you reason, you sit down at the table and discuss.
I've always thought that people who use force, besides the liberation struggles of revolutionaries, like our own president, he loves to call himself and Che Guevara, I've always thought that people who use force have a huge inferiority complex. They cannot get into something that involves reasoning. They are not any better men unless they swing an arm or they swing a leg. at someone, because when it gets into a place where they have to reason, you have to debate. They are normal.
Right.
So the inferiority complex, and that is always in the mind. When you have a bit of that, then the excuse is false. Brian, if you suffer from it, go to the gym.
No.
Go to the gym.
I can't stand someone that can't reason. Well, it's 4 minutes on to 9 o'clock. Whatever African proverb you have, you need to profile on this show. Please feel free to let us know. Morning at NTV, Facebook and Twitter. And of course, you can send it to 6565. And of course, to usher us into a beautiful morning, we have Sifa Kelele in the building with one of their best pieces, Nalinya. Good morning.
She tries so hard to make a living, hustling through the crowd. Salimboga, the sun is burning down her back. She makes no money for the day, but I'm here to tell her there is hope. Hope for tomorrow, hope for the future. Things are gonna get better. Just hold on and be strong. Nalinya, 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 Nalinya. She holds him closely to her chest, trying her best to keep him warm, shielding from his rumbling tummy and the anger creeping through his soul. But I'm here to tell her there is hope, hope for tomorrow, hope for the future. Things are gonna get better. Just hold on and be strong. Nalinya, 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 Amaziga. Chikoye, Ebezibu, Biobenji, and Souvenirna, Likuete, Nalinya, 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 Nalinya.
Wow. I want the other MC about what? The one who says, oh, Mutala. Beautiful. You know, I know I'm running out of time, but how did you learn this thing? I want to learn an instrument this year, and drums probably. Let me just get this mic. How did you learn how to play the piano?
I started playing piano in my kindergarten. And
What?
Yes. But along the way, I lost interest until I got to high school. And then when we joined this band, Sifa Kelele band, that's when I got more into the piano.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you play all these keys. And
I try.
Right. Do you also play an instrument?
Not yet, but I will be playing guitar very soon.
Bass guitar?
All types.
All types. I love the bass guitar because, you know, you're kind of relaxed and just doing your thing. Well, until Monday, Sifa Kelele, just give us that outro of Nalinya. You can catch us. Where do you play?
We do private functions. We mainly do private functions. We do weddings. We do dinners. We do church rounds. So you can always find us on Facebook, Sifa Kelele.
Sifa Kelele on Facebook.
On Facebook, even on Twitter, on Google. We are there to create change in society through music that inspires and reaches out to the voiceless.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Awesome. I attended your concert that you had a couple of months ago. Sifa Kelele, an all-girl band, But today, the other ones are teachers. They're causing change wherever they are. They're teachers. One of them is a brand manager. These girls are just too bad. And I will catch you on Monday. Tomorrow is International Women's Day. Find a woman you can celebrate, whether it's your mother, whether it's your wife, whether it's your sister, whether it's your friend, whether it's your girlfriend, your daughter, your ex. No, not your ex. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And Sifa Kelele, I think that's what they say. Spoil the track.
Thank you very much.
NTV, turning on your world.